This is our little podcast
about big plays.
And here we have a special guest with us, Catherine Skillett.
I'm so nervous.
I was like, oh my gosh, she's Catherine Wright. Like, I literally cannot get in my brain, even though she's your sister. I'm proud of you.
I almost
said
said Catherine Wright, but then I was like, wait, no.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That is your name.
Yeah, it's my name.
How are you?
I'm fine. I am having a great time with my sister-in-law and my bro.
Aww.
And this play... What the crap?
Yeah,
play.
this week we're talking about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child Part 1.
It's Halloween! Witches, wizards.
I always do think of like Harry Potter and Halloween, I guess because of the first movie.
Yeah.
Halloween is a big deal in the book.
In the book, yeah.
October 31st holds a lot of significance.
Yes.
For this wizarding world, I guess, for some reason.
Well, Harry's parents died on Halloween.
Right. They did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Halloween night, they died.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Nearly Headless Nick died. That doesn't matter, though. But
Sad.
he did die on Halloween.
Yeah.
When did we learn that?
Well, I don't know. I guess
I didn't know that. Because
No,
they don't
it's
say
true.
that in the... Do they say that?
They don't say that in the play, but they say that in the first book.
Well, they uncover their grave. They go to their grave in the seventh book.
It is definitely talked about. I can't tell you when.
Well, I was just thinking of in the first book they become friends with Hermione on Halloween. That's when they save her from the troll.
That
it's
is
the night of
correct.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is correct as well. Yeah.
So there is a lot of
Oh, I didn't even make
big
that
moments.
connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember figuring it out, like, how old was Harry? And I remember having to think, okay, he wasn't a 3-month-old, because he's born July 31st.
Right.
He's over a year old when they die.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Just
so
over a year.
somehow I knew that October 31st was the date, but I
Yeah.
don't know when they talk about it.
Oh, weird.
I'm sure they do. And I trust you, because Catherine is our Harry Potter expert.
I read those books over and over and over.
That's amazing. Like, I didn't... Okay, what age were you?
Yeah.
3rd grade. When
you started?
The first 3 books came out at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was in 3rd grade when they came out, and by the end of 4th grade, I had read those 3 books like 3 times.
Wow. Because I did not grow up with them in grade school. Like, that was always my mom and my older brother Steven's thing. Like, they would go to the night that the book was released together, wait in line, and I always kind of want to be in on it, but they were more of like, that was their thing. And so I kind of felt outside the loop. So I didn't actually start reading them till high school after I'd seen some of the movies. And then I was like, okay, family, the rest of us, we're going to make a book club. It was called Order of the Marauders. I had book quizzes for them.
That is so funny.
I had binders. I would test them if they had read it. I was all in because I always wanted to read it. And I had this lollipop when I was in Willy Wonka, and I decorated the other side, Order of the Marauders, and I would like turn it around when it was the book club time.
Whoa.
Like, it was one summer, I read all of them. And I'm so glad it was
they were
like
all
that.
out by that
They were
time.
all out by that time. And I'm so glad it was like that for me personally, just because like I got the full story, and I was so like, because I hate waiting on things. That's just me personally.
Okay, so by the time you had read them, all the movies had come out?
No, it was just right before the 7th that I could finish.
Part 1.
Yeah, 7th part 1.
Got it.
So I could read all of that.
I remember...
Yeah,
I remember, oh my gosh, the day the cover of the 7th book was revealed, I was in like 7th grade, and it was like our English teacher was like a huge nerd about Harry Potter, and she like loved it, and we were like, oh my gosh, it's out, and she like put it up on the screen and stuff, and we were like, whoa, like what is it? And then like we like she like scrolled over to like on the 7th book, it's like Harry reaching for something, and we're like, whoa, where is he? And then like Voldemort's like over to the side, and like we were all trying to like uncover it and like crack, like, whoa, where is he? Is he in the Great Hall at in Hogwarts? What's going on?
That is so. I forgot that the covers used to come out before, and you would have like when the 4th came out, and there were these new people like Crumb and
Cedric,
and
and you were like,
who are they?
Yeah.
What's happening? Where's Ron and Hermione?
Yeah, and like I never even like went.
So cool.
I never even like went to a midnight
Neither
release
did
of a
I.
book.
We
You never did?
I never went to a midnight release.
Yeah.
Sad.
I was supposed to go
it's
one
okay.
time.
I don't think it would have been my scene.
I guess not. There would have been a bunch of nerds there.
Like my mom and my brother. Literally, that's where they went. And I was supposed to go with them one time, and I was like, okay, wake me up. And my mom's like, yeah. And then I was asleep, and she claims she went in there, she saw me sleeping so peacefully, and she's like, I don't know, she hasn't even read any of them with us. It's fine. I was like,
was that for the last one?
No. It was earlier on when I was trying to like get in.
These parties were not just for any old reader,
right,
or like anyone,
right.
And I considered myself more of a snob than a nerd. Like I had scholarly opinions about. I didn't.
But you you would we had this trivia game for only the first Harry Potter book.
Yes.
And Catherine, it was crazy because it was like Trivial Pursuit, but only for one book of Harry Potter, and so it was like the most in-depth questions that you could ever have.
Minuscule
details, and Catherine would dominate us like in everything.
That's so
I
powerful.
knew every answer. Meredith and Will thought they had me when they said, describe the key to Harry's vault at Gringotts, and they thought they had me.
And it was like a non. It was like, we're not even gonna give you multiple choice.
Tiny, golden.
Wait, those are the only adjectives she uses to describe them? Oh.
Yes. Insane.
Oh my god. That's incredible.
Wow.
Honestly.
I love that.
I think I read the first 3 books.
That's so funny because those are my
over
least
7 times.
favorite.
Oh, for sure.
Like later I would say the 5th one was my favorite because it had the most information that wasn't in the movie. So like it felt like a new story to me since
the 5th one?
The 5th one, because I had already seen the movie, and so I'm like, okay, every other book pretty much lines with it, and that one didn't.
The 5th one, it goes. Well, they had to trim it down so much,
right?
Because they took they took the longest book and turned it into the shortest movie,
right?
Which is crazy.
And so that's why I love that one.
It's crazy. The 5th book is like all. It seems
it gets
all leading up to the 6th. It feels like to me, and it's still so long.
Yeah, but so good. Something like, I don't know.
I do love the 5th one because it is there is like so much like I don't know, like obviously like Voldemort's already back and but it's that whole like plot of like nobody believes him and I think
Harry
that's super
so isolated.
That's super compelling.
He's like this Byronic hero.
Yeah.
That really comes.
Ooh, that was an English word.
Oh my gosh, shut up.
Oh my gosh. Catherine, were you an English major?
I was.
Thank you.
No, but yeah, I love the 5th one. And I think what's your favorite book? Book, not movie.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So
we're gonna keep this separate.
At no point will I talk about the movies like they're legitimate.
Really?
Obsessed.
No movie talk.
Okay.
In this podcast.
Amazing.
Like I'm already.
But wait, we do have to bring it up a little bit. But okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I would. Okay. What was the question?
Which is your favorite book?
Oh, okay. So I'm just trusting that not many people listen to this podcast because my password for everything in the internet is HP and then the order of the books in the
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
no.
7.
And her favorite.
In my favorite order. Like favorite from least
Oh
favorite
wow, okay, that's interesting.
So it goes 3, 4, 1.
Oh, okay.
6, 5, 2, 7.
7's your least favorite.
7 is my least favorite. Isn't that crazy?
Do you
and
hate?
2 comes so
do you
late.
hate the
I don't
ending
like 2,
of like the whole thing? Like you hate the ending?
By the time the 7th book was written, I was such a purist, and
Okay, what does that mean in terms of Harry Potter lore? Like, what's a purist? Because like
I love it.
Even J.K. Rowling herself could not give me what I wanted.
Okay.
And the 7th book felt too much like a contrived, like she was trying too hard, it felt like to me. That's why it ended up in the last place. Maybe if I read it again. I haven't read it in a couple years. I should reevaluate. But it didn't satisfy me at the time that it came out. I was disappointed.
Wow.
Okay, interesting.
No, I get that.
I think like with the ending of it, it's like I really like his confrontation with Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest, and I like
that is fantastic.
Yeah, I really like that, and I really like King's Cross and kind of like what happens there. But then everything after that, where it's just like this big battle or whatever, I'm like, that's not as satisfying. I don't think.
And I think the most insane part, and I kind of realized this as I was reading the play, is like this whole story that she's made up where this huge war takes place at this children's boarding school.
Uh-huh.
What?
The whole world of Harry
The whole
Potter.
world is obsessed with this children's boarding school.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
they
the
live-
world is small.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
a very small
That's very
world.
true.
It is a small community of of wizards in England.
Because Harry, even when he is in the wizarding, it's like that line, like, everyone seemed to know each other.
Yeah.
I don't remember what he's describing.
Is it the leaky cauldron and or maybe
No.
because if you do
Mystery.
think about it, it's like how many kids are in Harry's class
Oh, honestly.
Yeah.
of Hogwarts?
It's
like
like
it's like
12
maybe
per house.
Yeah.
or
there's not a
something
lot.
small like that.
and so that makes sense that
Yeah.
there's not going to be there's not a lot of wizards in England.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the school.
Because if you think about it, because Hogwarts is maybe it's like the best wizarding school in England, or is it the only wizarding
I feel like it's
school?
the only
It's
one.
it's unclear.
Because in
No.
the play when Delphi's like, yeah, I got really sick and I couldn't go to school, and it was just like that was her only option.
Yeah, that's true.
There was no other oh, too bad.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So I don't know. That kind of dawned on me like during this. So I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's weird.
I mean, they have slavery and
Yeah.
they
It's a messed up
are
world.
super
Yeah.
definitely.
And they all just carry around guns all the time, basically in the form of wands, and they're like, yeah, I could murder you at any point
Yeah.
with this, and I guess I would get caught, but you're gonna it's
Yeah.
it's a crazy world, and there's you're 11, here's a gun.
Yeah, it's kooky.
Yeah.
It's cuckoo.
But
It's
It
super.
works.
It's a super fun world that she created.
Everyone
Right.
wants to be in that world.
Yeah.
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 Everyone.
Oh yeah. I don't know, it's so fun, but I get how you could get upset. I think I was just so wanting to finally know Harry Potter when I was reading them, so I was kind of just along for the ride, even though I get that impassioned or that passionate response because I have that for everything else now. But for some reason I was like, yeah, no, this totally makes sense for part 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
The only reason I was mad is that they split it up into 2 movies, and I was like,
Pointless.
that's stupid. That's
Oh.
so
The
stupid
first
for how
movie-
short
Oh,
it was.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
beg to differ. I think
Oh.
Harry
okay.
Potter, the seventh part 1, is the best Harry Potter movie.
What?
That's
Yeah.
fighting
I
It
don't.
is. It
I
is.
don't respect that.
It is the
opinion.
best one.
I apologize.
Now
but
I
no.
realize it's very light on plot, but
It's,
Acting?
it's pretty.
acting.
Well, what are you referring to? If it's light on plot, what makes it so great?
It is. It gives you. I think it puts you into Harry and Ron and Hermione's shoes. It gives you the best perspective and the best. You really go on a journey with them throughout, because it's very very isolating for them. They're going from place to place,
That's true.
getting chased by these people.
I did hate
They're-
Harry less in that movie.
you
Yeah.
develop this sense of empathy for the entire wizarding
Yes.
world, where everything kind of all hope is lost.
Yes.
Dumbledore's dead. Spoiler alert.
Ron leaves, the trio that you
Yeah.
thought is being broken by
Yeah.
the difficulty of their task.
Right.
I love that movie.
It's a good movie, I would say. But did it need to exist by itself?
On its
Couldn't
own. No.
couldn't
It
they
could have been
pushed it
Just,
together and
3
made
hours.
the
It could have been a
seventh
3.5.
movie really good?
It could have
Yeah.
been a 3.5-hour movie.
And people would have
Probably
been fine with it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
people were. We're all obsessed. I would have watched it
Yeah.
for 5 hours.
I mean,
and
look
been
at this
happy.
play. It is 2 parts.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Oh my gosh.
I have no idea.
I think maybe they show part 1 and then you come back later in the day and see part 2. I'm not positive, but
I
that
feel like
might
it.
be.
I think it
yeah,
is.
or I feel like maybe it's a 2-night event. Maybe
Okay, so who does that?
no one. I
We
mean,
have to buy
there's
2
only
tickets,
there've been
yeah.
other plays like that, but no, that's of the newer times of this modern period. There's not really another play like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I thought that was weird and I feel weird not finishing it.
Oh, I know, me too.
Yeah.
Super cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Super
Italy.
cliffhanger.
Well,
So-
also we need to tell you, so we were getting to the last chapter, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
finished because he's a quicker reader than I am. He finished before me, and he was like, "Sarah, I don't want you to read the last chapter. I want Catherine and I to explain it to you because of how stupid it is."
Oh my
So
gosh. It's nuts.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you're gonna do that. Prepare that later.
Yeah,
what else
we
do you want to
could.
say about Harry
Okay,
Potter?
just that I can't Harry Potter is inseparable from my childhood because it became the only book that I cared about, and it was the springboard for a lot of relationships. It's
Oh.
basically my
Wow.
relationship with my closest cousins,
Yeah.
playing Quidditch, together and just talking about the books for hours.
Yeah.
Like
playing the first Harry Potter video game.
The video game, oh my gosh, so scary.
So great video game though. Like
Good
I think
video
they
game,
yeah.
for sure.
Oh my gosh.
We never got past the Bloody Baron.
No.
That was
We
tough.
never beat it.
Yeah.
Would love to revisit that one.
So I couldn't handle video games as a kid. I was so scared.
We played. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's true. Even the Toy Story video game, I got scared. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember that Toy Story video
The
game?
slime monster.
Oh my gosh,
The
that's
mom
crazy.
bot. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. And it was like my extracurricular activity was Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And the slowness of the books coming out, like drew it out through my entire. So like from age 8 to 15 or 16, they were coming out. And so the friends I made in high school, like, how did we hit it off? We started talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah, it was such a cultural, like, it was just such a
Phenomena,
big
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
No, that's true.
It was, and so I've been collecting the illustrated versions that are coming out slowly. And so far, it's 1 through 4. So I've been reading them, and it just doesn't satisfy me like it used to. And part of it is because the books don't smell correct. So
it's different kind of paper.
Incredible.
It's a different. I mean, obviously the paper's different.
Well, it's like that glossy paper instead.
Yes.
Of the,
Oh, okay,
instead
because
of
it's
the-
illustrated. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. No, but I felt like kind of how it didn't. Oh, hi, Harvey came to join us. I did feel when I was reading her writing, and it felt so cheesy during this play, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I was just like, but when I was younger, and I like totally ate it up and like everything. So I feel like it hits even different because of like the type of writing. It was like children's books, and it was that, and so you go back and you're like, I don't know, I think there's a more mature, intelligent way you could have expressed like this character's journey, and then you're like, well, wait, and that does piss me off in this play because plays it's supposed to be a little bit higher than
you as a kid reading them, like, you do kind of take everything at face value. You're like, yeah, that's what happened, and then like going back as an adult, you're like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. And you're like critiquing like all of her decisions and stuff. Like that's what like I don't know, that's what happens like with Star Wars sometimes. It's like well that doesn't make any sense or whatever.
No, we grew up along with Harry.
And
now
100%.
we're just critics.
Now we're just critics. Now we're just creating podcasts about him.
Oh, and the fan fiction universe that I discovered.
Because you got really into that.
Okay, so there's this one fan fiction. I swear it's better than the books. And it came out when right after the 4th book. So we were waiting on 5, 6, 7, and anyway.
That was like a big part of it, that like people would write these fan fictions about it, and it was just like this kind of new thing where you could like write your own version of the story and like put it out there on the internet for anyone to read. And
I
so
wrote
it was,
one.
and Catherine wrote one. Oh my gosh!
No,
do you have
I wrote one. I just that it was supposed to be the year that they turned 16, and so it was like summer. Harry was at the Dursleys, and Hermione and Ron drive up in a convertible.
Nice.
And
like,
they
get in.
Yeah, get in, Potter.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping. It's summertime, baby.
Yeah. It didn't go anywhere. I was excited about it.
But I do remember you would read those. You would like just read on the computer, just reading fan fiction of Harry Potter.
It's called After the End, and Google it. It is stupendous.
It is. Is it a continuation of like after book 7?
No, it.
Oh, it
okay.
picked up after.
Yes. It technically they're like done with Hogwarts, and it's after the war, and the plot
bridges
is about
the gap.
Yes, the plot is it's a post Voldemort world, and they're trying to rebuild their society basically. Great. And Harry is like trying to figure out who he is when he's not. If he's not fighting Voldemort, who is he?
Ooh. See, that's an interesting story.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because
this
is...
So, okay, should we talk about J.K. Rowling?
We should talk about J.K.
Rowling or Rowling?
It's rolling like bowling.
Really?
It is.
Thank you.
There it is.
Thank you.
Harry Potter expert.
Yep.
Coming in clutch. But she was actually born Joanne Rowling.
Great.
Yeah. Because we live in a misogynistic world, which I will get into later.
What?
So, Joanne Rowling, better known as her pen name J.K. Rowling, is a British writer and philanthropist. obviously. She has, she's still alive and rocking and rolling, and she's currently living in Scotland with her children and her second husband. So there's a lot of information on her. This is her only play she's ever written. Obviously, we know, like, she's written a bunch of Harry Potter novels. She's also written a novel called The Casual Vacancy under the pseudonym Robert Galbraith. And it's the crime fiction Cormoran Strike, which is like a series. And then also The Ichabod was a political fairy tale for children that came out. So she's written a few other works other than Harry Potter.
Did you guys read Casual Vacancy?
No.
I never
No.
did. I remember when it came out.
Yeah.
It was like a big deal.
Yeah, but no one seemed to like it.
I guess it was.
Yeah.
It was not well received, I guess.
I mean, how do you follow up? You can't, like, with your
I
fans.
know.
Like, I just feel like it was kind of a bad idea from the start.
I've always wanted to
To,
ask
like, write
her, like,
something
why
else.
not
Yeah.
just stick with Harry Potter?
I'm sure she
Yeah. 'Cause she
has other
could-
ideas.
Right.
But-
Yeah, I guess it
'Cause
might
you
be,
don't wanna be
feel
trapped.
kind of limiting, yeah.
Yeah, because she's also written, obviously, for the films of Fantastic Beasts and kind of explored a little bit more of that world.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
Yeah.
I could have a whole separate podcast on those movies.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
But J.K. Joanne, she was born in Yate, Gloucestershire, and she worked as a researcher and a bilingual secretary for Amnesty International after she graduated from university. And that's where she conceived the idea for Harry Potter on a delayed train from Manchester to
we've
London.
all
Wrote it
heard
down
the
on the
story.
napkin.
Did she really write it
Incredible.
down on a napkin?
She wrote, like, the first few chapters of how they would kind of map out, and that's kind of where it wasn't, like, the whole book. You
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard in an interview she gave, she was like, I don't know where the idea that I had write it on napkins, I could afford paper.
Yeah.
She does not talk like that.
I could afford paper. Well, and there was another one where, because if you've heard that story, then she kind of grew up from more, like, humble beginnings. Her family was, like, not wealthy by any means. And she had a younger sister who was born when she was 23 months old. And, but she frequently wrote fantasy stories for her sister and, like, kind of wanted to entertain her. And that's where, like, her, like, the novelist in her emerged. And she loved this one book that was given to her great aunt when she was a young teenager called Hans and Rebels, and it was an autobiography by Jessica Mitford, and that, like, heroine in that became, like, her obsession. Rowling was like, I love her. I want to, like, make stories with, like, someone that strong and, like, of that personality. So she kind of focused on that, and she became very intrinsic, and says that when she was a teenager, she was, like, very unhappy, and her home life was, like, complicated. Her mom had, like, scoliosis and had a strained relationship with her dad. So she just felt, like, very isolated, and she kind of channeled all those feelings of when they started when she was 11, and that's how she came up with the character of Hermione. So there's, like, many things from her life that obviously bled into Harry Potter, and that's what I'm going to hit on, because I think those are the most interesting things. Like, her best friend, Sean Harris of the Upper Sixth, he owned a turquoise Ford Angelia, which is what inspired the flying version of it in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which is, like, so fun. She started listening to rock music like The Clash, The Smiths, and the Susie Sue, and she adopted the look of the latter, which is, like, comb back hair, black eyeliner, and she would, like, still sport that look going into university. I don't know. I just like that image of JK being a rebel, you know?
Oh, she was, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
In the 80s or whatever.
Right. So then after university, that's when she became a secretary, and she had moved in with, like, her then boyfriend, and then, gave birth to, like, a child, and she was, like, very poor, kind of, like, making ends meet, and her mother died from scoliosis, like, a few years after, like, during that time. So it was kind of, she was still writing Harry Potter, but it was just a very, like, hard time in her life. And so she said she channeled a lot of, like, that energy, and that losing her mother, like, affected the character who she developed, like, in Harry. Of just, like, that sadness and that loneliness comes through, and everything she felt in her life at that point. And even as it went on and years after her mother, she could, like, still channel that. And she saw herself, like, as a failure during that time, even when she was writing. Like, the Dementors are also, like, how she viewed, like, her career. And, like, everything kind of being stripping, like, away from her, all her hopes and dreams and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's when, and she was also diagnosed with clinical depression and like contemplated suicide. And so that kind of bled into the Dementors as well. So she signed up for welfare benefits because she was really like so poor and so destitute. And she was trying to sell her book as much as she could because she had finally finished it. The first
Harry Potter.
And so, and she was rejected by 8 different publishing houses. And then she was accepted by a publishing house, Barry Cunningham from Bloomsbury. And they bought it for $1,500 in advance. And they were like,
what?
Yeah. And she was like, you can't go under Joanne Rowling because no boys will want to read a book that's written by a woman. And so that's when she took up the name J.K. Rowling. Kathleen is her middle name.
Yeah.
And because then, you know, the gender would be kind of more not as obvious, which
weird.
Sucks.
That is weird.
Yeah.
That's just so weird.
Sad.
Because all you have to do is like
look it up for 2 seconds.
I mean, on the back, it doesn't it. I don't know.
Yeah. It's so annoying. It's so like horrific to me. But that's, you know, she kind of became.
The world we live in.
Exactly. So that's why she adopted J.K. Rowling. That's not what she goes by. She actually goes by more like Joanne, obviously, and other pseudonyms that she's kind of chosen to kind of spite other people that are. So she just likes choosing a plethora of names.
All right.
But, you know, and then obviously it went on to be a great success. Harry Potter is
she's like a
national
or
world
whatever.
phenomenon. Yeah, she is the first billionaire author.
Really?
But Forbes
that makes
named her
sense.
one. But she was like, no, I'm not a billionaire because I've donated so much to charity. And so she lost her billionaire status. But at one point, she did hit that before she donated. And she did help write the screenplays. Actually, Steve Kloves wrote the screenplays for all but the 5th film, which I thought was interesting.
All but the 5th.
Yeah.
Like even okay.
Yeah. So she helps in the writing process, but he was like the, I don't know, champion of it. And she would tell the actors certain secrets about their characters before they came out in the books.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
The
Snape one especially was the big one I remember.
Yeah. And Daniel Radcliffe asked if like Harry had a death scene or was gonna die, and she was like, you have a death scene, but she didn't like reveal like you would come back or anything, but he just knew like, okay, I do die. So I think that's really cool because it kind of helps the actor, you know, like lead into like their storyline and give a better story for their audience if they kind of know, like, even if it's like bare bones, it's still like, okay, I can kind of plan ahead for this journey and know what this character is going to go on. So
sure,
I do respect that. But yeah, that's basically her. Right now she's enjoying Scotland with her kids and like her, I don't know, her second husband, and then recently wrote this insane play that went up. Oh shoot, when did this play go up?
I don't know.
It was like 2 years ago.
No, it was
3?
longer. It was longer ago.
Oh.
This was published in. Oh no, it was first. It was first printed in 2017, and so yeah.
Thank you.
Copyright 2016, I guess. So I don't know when it. Yeah,
revelation.
so I guess the most like two West End seasons ago it went up.
I would love to see this on stage because
All I could say
everything
is
that's expected.
Wow.
the budget that must exist for this play.
Well, I've heard, yeah,
That's
that's one thing is that
insane.
I've heard the special effects that they use are crazy, and it's like really, really cool.
That is.
I'm sure it is.
I'd
It's
be
awesome.
fascinated.
Yeah.
That would be the one reason I go.
Because like,
Right.
Like that would be
yeah.
it.
So should we get into this? Should we get into the summary and
think-
like, because like the reason, I mean, like I was gonna say like, well, why did she write the play? And I'm like, well, the reason is money probably, and she like, I don't know.
I mean,
Like,
she's going into like a different medium, which I appreciate, like bringing the story of Harry Potter into like the theater realm. Like that's cool if it was done well or written well.
Think
Great.
that this could have made an okay novel follow-up.
No.
I think it kind of almost needed that because sometimes I think the beginning, the setup for the main plot is so rushed in this. I felt that it's like
I wish
that
she
it's like
I think she should have turned like went in order and like turned each book into a play. That would have been interesting.
No
or,
way.
Or done something, a story totally separate. But I don't think she should have continued on the story with a play. I think that was the wrong
Like
move.
this is more canon Harry Potter,
Yes.
but it's a play.
It's a play.
it's weird.
And why?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Why?
And it's weird because she's not. Will and I kind of talked about this just when we were like before we even read it. where we're like, we're interested to see because she is a novelist. And that was one of like the big critiques that people said when they saw the play of like, she's not a playwright. And it is like a different skill.
It says here on the cover. And
the story is by J.K. Rowling. The play was actually written by Jack Thorne.
But I think she even has like a novelist thing in mind.
Yeah, so
where
Jack Thorne's task here of creating it into a play was really probably really difficult because it does almost read like a novel.
Yeah, especially her stage directions.
I guess our conclusion is you gotta read it.
You do have to read it.
Yeah.
And it's widely available. You gotta pay for it, but and I think they will eventually adapt this into a movie once the original cast of the movies is a little older. Give them 5 years. Give them 5 years. They will 100% make this into a movie.
Yeah. Oh, they for sure could.
5, maybe 10
because
years.
that's what it reads like.
You know, J.K. Rowling gets a lot of criticism for like people think she's money hungry, but I think the world is Harry Potter hungry.
Well, yeah,
they're not willing to let it go.
Yeah, and I don't fault her for that. I think she could literally write so much, and she could write about other characters, and like there's so many like opportunities, and I just think this was a bad move.
Okay.
I still think she's talented. I just don't think she should have like done right after like the last one ended in a play.
Yeah. And we're coming at it. I mean, the introduction by Jack Thorne and John Tiffany, they say outright, go see this play. Reading the script is like looking at a piece of music that you can't, like you can't hear the symphony. You can just look at the notes, and it's not the same.
Right. And you kind of get that because it's like, that's why the special effects and everything, like the magic, I'm sure I'd be way more enthralled if I saw like, even when they go to like the old witches and wizards.
Because
like,
the stage directions are like, there's magic everywhere.
Yeah.
And, like,
and it's
that's hard to
incredible.
imagine.
And you're like, sure. All right. I don't know.
This is magic.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
So I get that. But basically the plot.
Okay, yeah. So we got the plot. Yeah.
It picks up right where the 7-1 leaves off. In fact, it includes the same dialogue.
The first scene is the epilogue of the 7th book.
That is correct.
And I was so mad about that.
Me too.
I was like,
why
would you waste this time? Like, literally, you could end with the kids are leaving. Even if you end with them leaving on the train, they're standing right there, and it's like, you think you'll be okay, won't you? That's way more, like, enticing than, like, all right, you know who you're named after, son. You're named after Albus Dumbledore. And you're just
you are named after two separate headmasters of Hogwarts.
It's just like acting like your audience is an idiot.
Yes, and there's a lot in the show where they are explaining what happened in the books.
Yeah.
And it is so awkward. Like, Albus says to Scorpius, you know what happened in the Triwizard Tournament, right?
Yes.
And Scorpius is like, everyone knows.
Yeah, and I'm like, and at the same time, I'm like, does everyone know that? Does everyone know what happened in the Triwizard Tournament in the second task?
Right.
Like, probably not, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Common knowledge.
I mean, like, I'm sure it is to. So the plot. Here we go. So we've got the main character is Albus Potter, who is Harry's middle child, right?
Correct.
And classic middle child.
Classic
very
middle
angsty
child.
Boy. He's like, no one understands me.
And
I hate having you as a dad.
He hates having Harry as a dad. It starts with him going to Hogwarts his first year, and he gets immediately sorted into Slytherin and becomes friends with Draco's son, Scorpius.
Correct.
They are like super best friends. And so that's like
super best.
And it's so cute. I love Scorpius. He's
my gosh.
so cute.
Yeah.
So Scorpius, can I keep going?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Scorpius is in a world of hurt because there are rumors flying around, and this is where it gets crazy. Rumors flying around that his true father is Lord Voldemort. How? By the use of a time turner. Draco and his wife Astoria couldn't have children, and they wanted the family, like the Malfoy name to live on.
Yeah.
They send Astoria back in time with a time turner. Astoria has sex with Voldemort, conceives his son, and brings...
Who even know what creature Voldemort is? TVA, you know, like...
Right?
Like,
I always pictured Voldemort as like a Ken doll.
Yeah.
Down there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Literally.
And like
What?
And like,
Is
okay,
that a man?
Okay,
to be fair, I didn't hate that part. I didn't hate the setup of like, yeah, Albus hates his dad, and Scorpius. There's like vicious rumors about
I
Scorpius.
think I hated
that
the ones
part.
that reiterated
That
it
part.
3 million times.
Sure, that part
Okay.
on its own, I was like, yeah, I can get that, and like that's intriguing to me, and yeah, let's go game on for the rest of the story.
I thought it was weird.
I thought it was weird.
I mean, it was
thought,
weird, but it was like it's interesting, and that certainly I could see that happening.
Okay. Sure.
But I don't even know because I don't think it fits into who like JK left Draco as at the end of the 7th.
Well, but
Well,
nobody,
Draco has nothing to do with it.
nobody the general public.
It's a
of the,
rumor.
Yeah, it's a
Well, it's a
rumor,
rumor.
and the wizarding world doesn't understand Draco's character arc.
That's true.
We
So I
as
guess
the reader do.
You're
Oh,
right.
that's
Because
right.
I was like, if it did happen, which we don't know, because maybe in Act 3 and 4 it gets wild, and maybe that does turn out to be true, and we just don't know it. But
Highly doubt it.
you
but,
know, because
yeah.
we're left like not knowing.
So-
So Scorpius is the sweetest kid.
He's so sweet and kind and cute.
He's
and
a
awkward.
cutie. Yeah, and awkward.
Yeah.
He's
Yep.
like okay, so Scorpius
He's like
is
Neville.
great. Albus, that's if Neville was charming.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he's as cute as can be. Albus and Scorpius are friends. Albus is wrestling with the fact that he looks like his father and
Yep.
is absolutely nothing like him. He can't play Quidditch.
Right.
He's bad at spells, basically, and he's in Slytherin.
Right.
And meanwhile, Hermione is the Minister for Magic.
Yeah.
Which
that
I was like,
crazy.
Queen, get
Sure,
it. I was
whatever.
honestly very
Absolutely,
happy about.
yes.
Yeah,
I was like,
yes.
But she's only
Harry,
like-
you just be in charge of defense.
She's only like she's only like 40 at this point.
Correct. They are in their early 40s.
Early 40s
Yeah.
for sure.
Harry is the head of the of magical law enforcement, and Ron
runs a joke shop, which is so stupid.
Yeah,
Ron
Ron
is-
could be way more. In the fan fiction aforementioned, he is a lawyer, and it makes so much sense because in the 3rd book, Ron takes care of Buckbeak's case so well. He researches everything for Hagrid.
Oh.
He sends Hagrid off to
Yeah.
court with all these great notes, and like, there's no way they can convict Buckbeak, and they do.
I thought that was Hermione who did that.
Ron worked tirelessly at
Really?
that case, so he should
Oh,
have
I
been a
didn't know
lawyer. Read after the end. Instead, Ron is actually, in fact, running the joke shop with George, I presume.
And he's like a non-character. He's like not in it.
She basically turned Ron into George and Fred because everyone loves George and Fred, like their relationship. But like,
I guess.
Ron
but it
is so
felt
much
like
more.
that.
Ron is so
he
much
is
more.
so much
Ron-
more, and I
Yeah,
just
he-
felt like I wasn't even reading Ron. I was like, this isn't Ron. What is happening?
He's a big goofball.
He's a big
Yeah.
goofball. He's got stupid dad
but
jokes.
you know, maybe that's okay because Ron always hated. I mean, Ron
was always against like
the
I don't know, the adventures.
the danger and the like. Yeah, the adventures they had to go through were hard on Ron, and he wanted peace and quiet and to be with his family, and he
Yeah.
wanted to protect. So he's like relieved the war is over. He wants nothing to do with it. He's like, we're done, and I'm running a joke shop because I love my life.
I
Sure.
guess.
Sure.
Sure.
And I
I
always
just-
like have trouble separating Ron from the movies and Ron from the books
I have
because
issues.
Ron from the movies is like very different and like not he's like
they wrote Ron incorrect
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
movies,
so
and I think
Yeah.
it's
Rupert
tough
Grint
to-
did a great job with Ron.
Mhm.
What they gave him.
Yeah.
yeah
Um,
but he's really not much of a factor in the movies.
Yeah, it's Harry and Hermione
Yeah.
against
Right.
everyone, and Ron is kind of there.
Following
Sure.
and being
Anyway.
against it.
Read the books.
Okay, so so Harry is Hermione's the
Harry's-
minister.
Right.
Or
Harry
Hermione-
is magical law enforcement,
Yeah.
and
and
the Time Turners are
they've all been destroyed.
they are key. They were destroyed in the Department of Mysteries battle in the 5th book.
Yes.
Which I don't. That's in the book, right?
That is, they
Yes.
smashed the cabinet, and
I
they
totally
all
don't remember
shattered.
that. Great.
So Amos Diggory makes an appearance. He barges into Harry Potter's household and says, "You know, my son Cedric."
Bring back Robert Pattinson to life. We all want it. We all want it.
We all wish he wasn't dead.
We're upset. Bring him back.
So Amos wants Harry to
Yeah.
use the one Time Turner that has apparently been discovered by the Ministry
Yeah.
to
Right.
bring back his son Cedric. Harry's like, "Do you have any idea how bad of an idea that is?"
Yeah.
And he says no. Should I keep going?
Well, here's the thing, though. I think he
yeah.
explained it like the classic
Yeah.
Harry of just being like a prideful idiot, where he like doesn't even. He's just like, no, it doesn't exist. No, and it's just
Well,
like
I don't think
everything-
it's honestly. I think he made the right call in not telling Amos that it still exists because
I
it
think
turns out that Harry has found they have just
single.
confiscated a single time turner, so they do have one.
Right. No, but I'm just saying even if he lied to him and said, he could have like comforted him in a way where it's like, yeah, do you know what this could do to everyone? You know how much this could change history, what you're asking? Like, he could have explained it more rather than like, I don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy. Get out of my home. You know, like.
Yeah. And to think about, to think about how many times you would have to turn the time turner in order to go back 22 years.
Yeah, isn't it like half an hour?
It's half an hour every turn or whatever. And so you would end up turning it for like 4 days and trying to get back 22 years, which would be crazy.
And so Harry should just be like, man, that's too many turns.
Yeah, man, I
No one
can't
has
do
time
that.
for that.
That's crazy.
Exhausting. I can't.
Okay.
I digress. And then, Ron and Hermione have a child named Rose who, I don't know. I do think that was also a missed opportunity that they could have explored more, because Rose seems like, I don't know, I was interested in her journey of finding herself and accepting the Slytherins as they were, rather than, you know, just being, I'm Gryffindor and I only speak to Gryffindors.
Yeah, true.
You know?
Yeah, she's a bit of a snob.
Yeah. And so her and Albus are cousins. How are they cousins? Are they
because
family
Ginny
friends?
and Ron
right.
are
Duh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, Harry and Ginny are married.
Oh, did we expect this? Sure.
Yay.
Do we hate it? Yeah, I hate Jenny. Do you
No.
hate Jenny?
No.
I only hate Ginny because of the movies.
The movies, that is not Ginny. That is not who she
Ginny's
is.
way better
I
in the
still
books.
didn't like her in the books. I don't know, guys.
I mean, the books, at least she was attractive.
That's true.
The movies, it was like, I could be in love with a wooden board, and it would feel the same.
And it feels the same.
Maybe better.
My favorite thing to think about is the one time in the 7th movie, you know, when he zips up her dress.
The kiss?
No,
The kiss and the zipping up the
dress. Where she runs to the kitchen. She's like, oh my gosh, my dress is still open. Harry, will you zip it up? Like, stop.
We can't.
We can't.
Hate it.
We can't. We
Hate it.
Fire her.
Yeah.
She's gone.
Anyways, so they're all going to Hogwarts, and everyone's like obsessed over the fame of Harry, Hermione, and Ron still 22 years later. And guess what? I'm over it as a reader.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like every time he's like, yeah, my dad is Harry, and everyone just looks at me and hates me because of it. And like all the kids, that's all they talk about. Yeah. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, get over it.
Okay,
I don't know.
We're getting into themes.
If you went to
sorry. But yeah. But I feel like that was also.
But if you went to school with like a famous celebrity's like kid, like that'd be kind of cool, right?
Well, and the parentage
that's
of witches and wizards is very important. And the houses that you're sorted into,
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and it's very in the family. I mean,
yeah.
Ron himself, what if I get sorted into Slytherin? I think I might, you know, I have to be in Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Right, because he's a Weasley, and all the Weasleys are in Gryffindor.
And the same with Draco, I have to be in Slytherin.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I am not surprised that there's pressure on this next generation to be in the house their parents were in.
And so, and I think it was an interesting move, writing-wise, to put Albus Potter into Slytherin. I think that was smart, and I think that works. And so what ends up happening is we fast forward through 3 or 4 years of Albus.
We as the viewer,
in
or reader.
And so we come into his 4th year, Albus's 4th year at Harry Potter World.
In Florida.
And he gets this idea. So he overhears, or somehow, I forget.
Yes.
He gets told about like Amos Diggory's request of Harry to go back in time and save Cedric.
He was listening in, and then Rose confirms that the time turner exists the next day.
Correct.
And Harry and before Albus leaves for Hogwarts for his 4th year, Harry has a conversation with him, tries to like kind of mend the gap between them.
There is a terrible gap between them.
Yes, yes. And so he tries to give him the only thing that that Harry has of his mom, which is a blanket.
The blanket he was wrapped in when Hagrid dropped him off at the Dursleys.
Yeah.
It is Harry trying to extend his love for Albus.
Yeah.
And Albus absolutely throws it in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the conversation goes like this: I don't wish you dead. I wish you weren't my dad.
Yeah.
And Harry absolutely sees red, blows up. I sometimes wish you weren't my son.
Yeah.
Harry would never say that.
I
Literally,
think he would.
Okay, yeah, he's an angry guy.
He is.
Yeah, he is an angry
he says
guy.
all sorts of crap.
But I don't blame Albus. I was like, yeah, Albus, I get it.
Oh,
Like,
I'm
that
totally.
sucks. There's so much like expectation on him.
Yeah.
Because like you guys were saying, where it's like, yeah, their parentage is so important and all this stuff, and he already like can't find his way. He's very lost as a person, and then you have Harry Potter as your dad. So I get what he's saying, and I think Harry's reaction was totally like, overboard because Harry just should have been like,
Sure.
let's unpack this. Why are,
Yeah.
what, like, what about me?
So-
They're always looking at me. I do hate how Harry's always like, oh, they're not looking at you, son. They're looking at me. Like,
Yeah,
shut up, Harry.
There's
Like,
yes.
I can't. The self-centeredness in that line is
They're
spectacular.
I wish we had a million hours to talk about this.
Sure.
The themes of fatherhood.
Yes.
Harry is trying to be a dad when he had no model for
Oh,
fatherhood.
true.
His one model was
Dumbledore.
Vernon,
Oh.
followed
Vernon,
by
yes.
Dumbledore.
maybe Arthur Weasley, followed by Dumbledore. Sirius Black was taken from him.
Yeah.
Like, he is just feeling in the dark. He has no idea what
True.
he's doing.
That's a good. That's
He
a good point.
wants his children to be
That's
easy to
true.
raise and, like, no surprises. Albus throws him curveballs all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Albus, my theory is that Albus is exactly like his dad.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
If they were like in each other's circumstances, they would be the exact same. So
Same thing.
Albus is ambitious, eager to prove himself, but also insecure.
And he's kind of, and almost like he kind of has given up by the time he's 14. He's like, why even try to
Right.
like prove other people right or wrong about me? It's just like, I am who I am, and like you go.
And honestly,
you all
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
he was probably the most, like, woke person, if you will, in the story, I felt.
He's
Because,
very self-aware.
Yes, where everyone else is, like, living in the past
Yeah.
and, like, obsessed with themselves and their image and how people see them.
Even Rose, Hermione's
Yeah.
daughter, is like,
Yeah.
look, Albus, we are famous. We can have our pick of friends
Right.
Oh,
at
yeah.
Hogwarts.
That was
Yeah.
psychotic.
That happens.
Yeah.
Rose is a yeah.
Yeah. So
Nightmare.
that whole setup for the main plot, I was like, I was like totally buying that, and that conversation, I was like, yeah, like this is good. There's some cheesy moments in that first part, but like for the most part, I was like, I get where she's going with this.
Sure.
And then we run into the main plot of the story, where Albus gets this idea in his head. I'm gonna steal the time turner, the one time turner that they have, and I, along with Scorpius, we're gonna go back in time, and we are going to save Cedric Diggory
Scorpius
from
is like,
dying.
Scorpius is like, why? And the audience is like, why?
Yeah, and I'm like, and
Why?
so
No.
and so they end up, whatever. They, of course, classic polyjuice potion. They break into the Ministry of Magic. Somehow these 14-year-olds get into this.
This is all happening in one scene.
It's crazy. It's insane.
It's like the time. Never mind.
I mean, like, but it's the exact same story, like the time where in the, what is
In
it,
the
the seventh
third?
book, they get the polyjuice potion and they
Yes.
break into the ministry. Harry, Ron, and Hermione do that, and so like these people are doing the same thing. Whatever, doesn't matter.
The parallels are.
Yeah, it's
Go on
great.
and
It's
on.
dumb. And
Gross.
so whatever. They steal the time turner and they go back in time to the first task.
Yeah, their
Also-
idea to save Cedric is to make him not as successful in the tournament.
Yeah.
So that he's not like tied for first with Harry.
Yeah.
Right.
At the beginning of the third
At
task
the
of the
beginning of the
Triwizard
third
Tournament.
task. So they go to the first task.
Apologies to all
And they,
non-Harry
like-
Potter fans who have no idea what we're talking about.
They thwart Cedric's attempts to defeat the dragon.
Yep. Which is nuts because all they do is they say like Expelliarmus and they disarm him. And I'm like,
From the audience.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what's stopping every other audience person from doing that? I'm like, that's crazy. That
not
kind of
gonna check
breaks.
it in?
I feel like that broke the entire Triwizard Tournament. I'm like, that was way
Do you have
too
to check
easy.
your wands in at the door? Like,
Yeah,
how does-
like what's going on here? Like anybody can
You
cheat.
know?
Anyway, whatever.
The plot holes abound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was nuts.
It's
So
psychotic. And I just think also they made Hermione so dumb how easy it was to get the time turner. Or whatever.
that was I hate that scene.
like that scene of just like how, just finding out 3 riddles. And then look, the time turner is in this one book in her office.
Yeah.
And look,
The riddles were easy.
These 3 14, 15-year-old kids can figure it out.
Yeah.
Like it made Hermione stupid. And I was like, no. Bad.
Yes, correct.
And I'm sorry, in a plot hole, I have a question. Didn't Harry have the time turner?
Hermione had
Hermione
it in
took
the
it-
third book.
No.
Oh.
In that scene with Hermione and Harry, Harry had it. Did he give it
He-
to
he
Hermione in
must
that
have.
scene?
I mean,
because I don't think.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's a plot hole there. Like, he confiscated it from Theodore Nott, and he completed his mission or whatever.
I
I don't
just
think
feel like
he
it was
gave it to her.
unclear because I guess I was confused of why I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be a plot where it's like, oh, they go to Hermione's office and it's not there, and then they would have to go to Harry's office, and that would be
the fact that Hermione
they knew
would
exactly where it was.
that one, they knew it would be in Hermione's office, and two, that it was there. It's like, why would it be in her office? Like, wouldn't she like keep it in like some magical safe or
I'm
whatever?
gonna reference the script here.
That's fine.
Carry
Yeah.
on.
Anyway, so they get the time travel. They go back in time. It doesn't work. They go forward in time, or they figure out that they only have a very limited amount of time in the past before they get kicked back to the future.
Well, and weren't they brought back by Ron?
Sure, maybe. Anyway, so whatever. They come back to the future, and they realize that what they've done didn't work because Cedric still died.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever. So then they're like, well, obviously we'll try again. By this time, whatever. There's this whole like Albus and Scorpius have run away to do this, and so their parents are like chasing after them. Whatever. That doesn't really matter. So here we come to kind of like the last scene where Albus. Are we skipping a bunch?
Yeah,
Are
I
we
think
skipping
we're
too much?
skipping some annoying parts I do want to
So-
scream about.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Great.
Albus is in the hospital with his arm broken, and Harry has this psychotic conversation with Dumbledore in a painting where Dumbledore's like, Dumbledore did have a beautiful point where it's like, you're not seeing your son, you're seeing how you want to see him, how you want him to be like
Sure.
James. And I was like, I respect that. That was actually great advice, Dumbledore,
Sure.
per usual.
Harry needed to hear that.
Harry needed to hear it. And guess what Harry does?
What does he do?
Harry lays down the hammer where it's like, I'm going to make him into basically who I want by instructing all of these rules and telling him who he can and cannot hang out with and all of this stuff. And McGonagall's going to watch over you and know where you are 24/7.
He gives her the Marauder's map
Yes.
to stalk Albus. Keep him
So
away from Scorpius.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because side plot, Harry is like in the midst of looking for Albus. Harry runs into Bane, the centaur. Bane says, "There's a dark cloud around your son." Harry leaps to the conclusion that the dark cloud is Scorpius.
Which is prejudice against Draco, against that whole thing, and not like showing any growth in Harry at all to actually get to know a human being without just knowing their name and knowing they're evil. Like,
Yeah.
are we not past that? Like, that
Yeah.
is annoying to me.
Yeah.
Where how far we are in his life's journey, and we're like,
Yeah.
you're still the same way. You haven't
Yeah.
grown at all. Okay.
Also in this this parallel universe of
Yeah.
the Time Turner activity,
Mm-hmm.
is it Rose? Rose was never born.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Because
That's
Ron
the big
and
thing.
Hermione are not married.
And
because
So there's so basically it's a Back to the Future situation where like they it's like Albus and Scorpius come back to the future, and a lot of things have changed, and they're kind of slowly figuring that out. Like, oh, we caused some unintended ripples in time by going back and disarming Cedric at the first task. Whatever.
Which is, because they fall in love at the Yule Ball, and I guess since
Yeah.
Cedric lost and they creeped her out by knowing her name, and she thought it was... She didn't end
Hermione
up going.
didn't go with Crumb. She decided to go with Ron because she was mad at Durmstrang. So she goes with Ron. Ron never becomes jealous of Crumb. The lack of jealousy
Is the reason
is
they're not
the
together.
reason they're not together. Bullshit.
Yeah. That's
Ron
fine.
and Hermione are... But I guess this is Rowling writing, so who am I to...
Whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But
Yeah,
but
sure.
But the scene that pisses me off
Yeah.
was... So Ron sees Albus in the hospital. Albus is like, "You're married to Hermione," and he's like, "Nah, man, I got this one girl with a pringa or something, or like what is it?
Patil.
Padma
Padma
Patil.
Padma.
Who is a character?
I just felt
Yes.
like
in
they're
the
saying a
previous book.
million P names at one point, where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, where are we?
And
What's
his
happening?
son is named like Pig.
Pushna.
Yes,
Pushna.
yeah.
I think.
Anyways,
maybe.
so and so then Ron and Hermione later in a scene are like, Albus said the weirdest thing the other day. He was like,
Oh, yeah.
"We were married. Can you believe that?" And then they were like, had
Oh.
this moment of heat, and you're just like, JK,
Kid.
would you stop? All right.
It was like a weird fan service kind of scene.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
like, and also, yeah, and in this
So
alternate,
cheesy and
in this
gross.
new alternate Back to the Future bad universe, Hermione is now not the Minister of Magic, but
She's
she's a
just a
professor
professor.
at Hogwarts now.
And she's basically this bitter old maid.
yeah.
Yes.
Who's really mean.
Yeah, kind of a wonderful life situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I was just like, I was really mad because I'm an avid lover of Ron and Hermione, and
Me
scenes
too.
like that piss me off. And I
Me
was like,
too.
are you kidding me? I digress. You
Okay.
can continue at the end. I just want to
Okay.
scream.
Okay. So yeah. So Sarah has not heard the actual ending now. So she doesn't know the ending, and it's a big
Yes.
cliffhanger. So here we go.
All right.
So get ready.
I'm not.
Scorpius and Albus go back in time again to now the second task, and they try to disrupt the second task through some I don't know. I don't know.
No,
what they
no.
did.
It was because they were gonna embarrass him because they have
Yeah.
suffered so much embarrassment in their life. That's how they know all about that.
If we humiliate him, he can't be a winner. He'll be a loser.
Just
Yeah.
like us. Okay.
Sure.
Continue.
So they do that, I guess, and it
They
doesn't work.
right.
Right? Whatever happened, I don't know.
It
They
doesn't-
cast some spell. It doesn't matter. They come back to the future again. Guess who? And they're in the lake. Guess who? Guess who they encounter as they come out of the lake?
Severus Snape.
No, Dolores Umbridge.
What?
She is the headmistress of Hogwarts.
What?
They are celebrating what day, Catherine?
Voldemort Day.
Turns out.
Oh my god.
Turns out, Harry
Yeah.
Potter is killed at the Battle of Hogwarts.
Albus doesn't exist because his father was
I guess
killed.
Albus doesn't exist, but that doesn't really matter because whatever.
So
I
does
don't
he have
know.
a new surname?
So Scorpius
Sure.
is alone. Without...
Oh, Scorpius is alone?
Yeah, because Albus doesn't exist because Harry Potter is dead.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
even.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just. Oh, wow. Okay,
There
so
you
it's
go.
just Scorpius by
Yes.
himself.
And he's like,
Wow.
"Where's Albus?" And Umbridge is like, "Get out of the lake. It's time to celebrate Voldemort Day." Voldemort rules the wizarding world. Cliffhanger. End
Oh.
of Act 2.
Blackout.
My.
So that's the show.
Wow. And honestly, that's fitting for how psycho this play is. How psycho it is that it's the perfect
it's
ending
just-
because it is just like so bonkers and so cheesy and stupid.
It's just wild that like the best you could come up with is like I think I'll combine Harry Potter and Back to the Future. It'll be great. It's like what like that's what you came up with?
And the driving force is getting Cedric back.
Yeah. That was crazy, and it's only because Robert Pattinson and everyone is obsessed. I'm convinced. I'm convinced because
I'm
since
convinced as
then,
well. I'm like, if they ever make this into a movie,
If it was played
they'll
by
have to-
any other actor,
they'll have to bring Robert Pattinson back maybe, and like maybe that's why they did. I don't know. It was crazy.
It was insane. I just think that like of all the plot lines you could have chosen, and also all of the ways, like if you are going to create this wonderful wizarding world, why use the same methods that you have written before? You have such a great opportunity to show us like different types of magical spells, different types of magical situations, and yet here we are again with a time turner. Here we are again with like the stupid disguise thing, like the invisibility cloak, the Marauders map, like all of them. Yes, I am a sentimental person as much as like the next person, but it took away from that. Choose one and then
Preach.
make everything else different.
Yeah.
Yes.
That pissed me off so much. I was like, I
Yes.
hate reading about their children. I hate
Yes.
how much like they're obsessed with themselves.
Yes.
And I don't know. I did not like it because of that.
J.K. Rowling, what we want from you is a series of books about the first war, the Marauders versus Voldemort. That is what we
Yes.
want.
That's what we
Please
want.
make that happen. Goodbye.
Signed.
thank you.
Signed your fans. Yeah, that'd be great. Like
yeah.
the original Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
The original Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yes. Like
Instead of like the whole like Grindelwald's war, like we don't care about
No
Fantastic
one
Beasts.
cares.
No one cares.
no.
We want James and Lily.
We want-
Sirius and Remus.
Yes, like
100%.
oh my gosh, like you can't even understand what they're saying in Fantastic Beasts half the time because God bless Eddie Redmayne, but that man cannot speak, so I have no idea what's
I
happening.
fell asleep. I don't know what even happens.
I don't even know, and I don't
Yeah,
care.
it's a big who cares.
And I love Jude Law, and yet who
What?
cares?
What?
Jude Law's in it.
He's
He's Dumbledore. He's young Dumbledore
Yeah,
in the
Ooh.
second Fantastic
I
Beasts.
love him.
Oh, it's Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
J. Depp.
J-Dub.
I did
J.
not
Depp is
cast you in
Grindelwald.
this show.
Sorry.
Wow. Okay. So where do we start with this? Do we start like, hey, how would what? Because again, like, I don't know, like the whole setup is fine, and then the Back to the Future plot is where it leaves it, where I totally got lost with it. And I was just like, nope, this is not for me.
I want to list my pros of the show.
Okay, great. What do you like about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good. That's good.
Pro: Harry and Albus have a disturbing or a painful relationship.
That totally
Yes.
works.
Absolutely
Yeah.
works. Pro: Draco and Harry are still at odds, clashing with each other.
Totally works.
Yes.
And there's still like a stigma around everybody in Slytherin.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, the first scene, Harry says the line, "The Sorting Hat takes your choice into account when you are sorted. So the theme that was all throughout the books of it's not your abilities, it's your choices that make you good or bad. That is very prevalent. I love it.
Yeah. Totally works. What else?
I will speak to a few things. I think they could have made the relationship between Albus and Harry less cliche of a bad relationship between father and son, because the biggest thing he says to him was like, well, sometimes I wish you weren't my son. And it's just like, yeah, I've heard this in every other. Yeah.
Is this Nickelodeon or what?
Exactly. I'm like, I don't know. It didn't even dawn on me that like Harry's never had like a father figure. Why didn't we hear something about that in the play? Why didn't, and it would have made us like more sympathetic towards him rather than like, you're just being kind of an asshole to your son and like not trying to listen to him at all. So I think I did like it, but I think she could have gone about it in a better way. And I think what also could have been interesting, even if there wasn't like still a stigma, if like the school was trying to combat it, like Hogwarts was maybe a little different and trying to be inclusive, but the students were restricting it just because of history. I think that would have been interesting.
Hands down, Hogwarts is the worst school that you could ever send your kid to. Your kid is gonna be turned to stone. They're gonna die. They're gonna be bullied for being in the wrong house. They're gonna get like slashed open by a troll. Like it's like don't send your kid to Hogwarts.
No, but
it's
like
a dangerous place.
It's a very dangerous place.
And even when it's like people are being petrified, they're like, well, let's see what happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait till someone dies, then we'll send the kids home.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm just like, I think it would have been like kind of funny or interesting for us because we've seen that version of Hogwarts, and it would have just been funny if like in this, 20 years later they're trying to be better, and yet people are kind of
hyper aware of like bullying now. And they're like, wait a second, no, we don't want another war to come here.
Yeah.
So also
go
huge. There's a big point where like Minerva McGonagall is the new headmaster of Hogwarts, and you can use the Flu network to get into her office all of a sudden. Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Okay.
Because there was a huge, like the whole point or like a big plot point around Hogwarts in the original books is that like it's so hard to get into. You can't apparate into it. You can't like fly a broomstick into it. You can't. It's impossible to get into. Okay.
In the 5th book, they try to use the Flu
network
in Umbridge's office to talk to Sirius.
Yes, and they do so successfully, right?
They do because they talk to Creature. Okay, so
I feel like for professors and stuff,
maybe McGonagall like authorized her fireplace.
Yeah,
to
I
be
guess,
used.
but that was just like I was like. No. So the whole plot of Half-Blood Prince doesn't matter now?
Guys,
because...
the more you poke at this play, the more it somewhat falls to shreds.
Yeah. What any other good things that happened?
Okay, pros.
I don't know.
The threat of Voldemort is still looming in this show.
Yes.
Harry's scar hurts in a dream.
That was cool, that moment. I was like, I would love to see it on stage where it's like, when was the last time I heard it? And it was like 22 years ago. And then the scene ends. Like, I was like, yeah.
Honestly, the scar. I'm over the scar. Enough with the scar.
I honestly, I was very. It's kind of like
what. I did think Ron being like, I don't know, man, you're growing older.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Ron is funny. He's comedic relief.
Yeah.
But he's criminally underused for sure.
Yeah.
Other good things. Crazy that the what was it? Albus and Scorpius are trying to get off the Hogwarts Express to run away and go save Cedric. And the trolley lady turns into like this monster and tries to like capture them to like keep them on the train or something.
Off. They could just jump off easily and nothing happened.
Like that was crazy. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
What? Like, I don't know.
What happened to her like hands like
her
turn
hands
into
turn
knives?
into daggers.
Yeah.
Obviously.
That was weird.
Super weird.
Yeah, I was like, are we an X-Men now or what?
Yeah, but I guess maybe we should be supporting JK in that moment because it was a change where it was history and a little bit different. I think I would have just made it a little bit harder for them to get off the train rather than just them jumping.
Yeah,
maybe a little fight scene.
Or like don't even talk about it at all. It's just the fact that it's a dangerous.
It's the physics of the thing.
Yeah,
it's a moving train.
That's what's dangerous. You can't jump off a train that's going 60 miles an hour. You know.
other fights that didn't have to take place and were annoying to read were Harry and Draco's little fight in the kitchen. And then
They have like a huge wizarding duel.
They have a brawl, and Ginny is
They
like,
like nearly
what's going on?
they nearly kill each other.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
like no reason other than like living in the past. And then Ginny comes in, and then Draco's like, "Sorry about your kitchen." She's like, "Actually, it's Harry's. He does most of the cooking." And I was like, I love that we're trying to fight the
That was weird.
patriarchy.
Yeah,
but
Well, Harry
That was
has
a
a
weird
lot of
moment.
experience. Petunia made him cook a lot.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
true.
interesting.
I-
heard about
But
that.
he's a wizard now.
Yeah.
And when
Who
you
cooks?
have,
Can't you just
who
bop it
cooks?
up?
Yeah,
Right.
Molly Weasley just like pours soup out of her wand.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I miss
the
Molly.
whole
Is Molly alive? I wish I knew.
probably.
I think so because she's like, "I'm gonna tell Mom," and he's like, "I'm not scared of anything but
Yeah.
Mom," and you're like, "All right."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, but I did hate that like that Voldemort was like the plot. I guess like
Yeah.
kind of an underlying plot because it did feel like she just
Samey.
had like she just nowhere else to go. It's like well,
Let's
what do you
threaten
do?
Voldemort.
Yeah, what do? You bring back Voldemort again?
Yep.
Sure. Do you think in the play they get Ray Fiennes to say that?
I love Ray Fiennes.
He's a gem.
Yeah.
I
His
didn't
can do
love
no
his
wrong.
Voldemort, actually.
Really?
I love
Interesting.
him.
Oh, I love him as
In-
Voldemort. He's so good.
Yeah.
I can't imagine anyone else.
Yeah.
And so maybe I just hate Voldemort and like the way he looks. He doesn't scare me.
Okay.
But
Oh, he
I
does.
can
me.
kind of, I get how you could want him to be scarier. Yeah. I don't think he's like that threatening where it's like every time he's on screen, I'm like, oh,
You
he's
remember-
more
you know.
bizarre.
You
Yeah.
remember? Sorry, Fran Pargett, if you're listening to this.
Hi.
But you remember when the fourth movie came out and she saw it like a couple times and she threw up? She was so scared of
Oh,
Voldemort.
Fran.
Yeah.
Okay, happier memory. Susie,
so funny.
do you remember when you dressed as Filch for one of the book
No way.
things and won the costume contest?
Get out of here.
that's
Good for
amazing.
Susie.
Yeah, she had like a real cat.
Oh my
Mrs.
god.
Snickers.
I
And
love
she's like
that.
8 years old. So precious.
She's
That's so
perfect.
funny.
That's so. She's 8 years old.
Meanwhile,
Filch.
Amanda dated. This is our other cousin. She
Yeah.
dated a Potter. We were super excited because his grandfather was named Harry.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my
His
god. You're
grandfather
like,
was
you
Harry
have
Potter.
to marry him.
For sure. Okay.
Oh, we love Devin.
Other bad things we want to scream about.
No, I thought
Gosh.
you had an interesting thing where you said in the car where just in JK's what she said in JK how she defines like witches and wizards, like girls are witches and boys are wizards, and yet she built this world where it's like the wizarding world of Harry Potter. So it already starts out where it's like a male dominated society because we're putting like it's the wizards. Did you ever think of Hermione as a witch is my question in all your years of reading and loving it? Or do you just consider all of them wizards?
Oh, yeah.
I never had a problem. I
just
thought of Hermione as a witch. She says
Really?
in the very first book.
I mean, I know she has like lines about it. I just
Yeah.
always considered them all wizards. And I think you just could have done
Oh,
that.
okay. So when I was dreaming of being
Yeah.
in the world, I was like, I want to be a wizard. I didn't think I
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
a witch.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Witches have a connotation of being
Right.
Exactly. They're evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And so,
wizards are like
and, like-
wise and wonderful.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was weird. It's just weird that like she like made that because like you don't equate those. A wizard
Wizard and
from like
witch.
from a wizard from Lord of the
Um,
Rings is different from
sure.
a witch from Macbeth.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. No, I never thought about it.
Yeah, isn't that
Thought
weird?
I would
That's just-
rather be a wizard than a
Same.
witch.
Something I noticed
Same.
on this read of it
Yeah.
that I hadn't noticed before.
Funny.
Yeah.
I did think of like, oh, so it was just the time turner stuff is crazy, and it just makes it even crazier that they gave Hermione a time turner in the third book. And I'm like, so you gave this 13-year-old a time turner to go to classes, and now they're illegal? And like, I'm like, whose idea was that? Like,
my God.
whoa.
I never fully comprehended that as like
That was-
a young. I was like, I don't even know if this does make sense
It-
for her to.
Yeah, I mean, like it did within that world, but then I was like, yeah, it was crazy that like I was like, so why don't we use time turners to just solve all of our problems? Like if those exist, I guess like only a limited number of them existed, so that made sense. It was all that I don't know, it's all that magical item stuff. Whatever, doesn't matter. Oh, I hated like Harry has a dream of like the exact moment when Hagrid tells him he's a wizard. And I'm like,
Yeah, there was.
so we just like see that again, and I was like, that's dumb.
There seemed to be a lot of, what is it you call when you're just like pleasing the fans?
Yeah, like fan service.
Okay,
like, yeah.
so there seemed to be a lot of that where
So
we just
much.
like relive. I mean, like the Triwizard Tournament was everyone's favorite, and we got to go back to it. And
Yeah.
like you were
Hagrid.
saying,
It felt,
yeah, Hagrid makes an appearance because we miss him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it kind of felt like, I mean, like, so I know like Avengers Endgame did kind of the same thing where they like go back to previous movies, but like they did that like in like the best way possible.
Where it was like a short, like
Where it was,
20-minute experience.
From a-
And it was like different enough
Yes.
that like, and
Yeah.
you could see how the characters had all grown since those
Yes.
previous
It
movies.
was fulfilling. It was
And for
funny.
for whatever
Yeah.
reason that worked for me, and this absolutely did not.
So this is my question for you guys.
Yeah.
Hermione and Harry and I guess Ron are 22 years older.
Mm-hmm.
As characters, did you like buy that these are the same people that you read about? Like, is this believable? Harry is this way. Is that believable knowing what you know about Harry as the teenager?
So what are the-
So I think I will speak. I think Hermione, I did see growth. I felt she was kinder, but I could still see like not Hermione's always kind, but even like a gentle moment or like she was so like caring. Like whenever Harry was being like psycho, she had like a patience for him in this play that I kind of appreciated.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
saw that. And even though she's like boss, she's ahead of him in the wizarding world, you know, like she's basically in charge now. And yet she still has like this gentle like ness with him because he is the same person, I think, as far as, and the worst qualities. I saw the worst parts of Harry
Yeah.
in this play and not the good ones.
Oh
And-
yeah, we
Yeah,
are
what
like,
are, like-
smacked in the face with Harry's faults.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
none of his bravery or
No.
his
No,
nobility.
you just hear about it.
It
Yeah.
reminded me
Yeah,
of
which I hate.
Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
Where Simba is this like bad
He's like the kind of this monster
father.
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, who saw
kinda-
that coming? You were awesome.
It
Yeah.
borrowed a lot of elements from that actually.
Yeah, and like, I don't
Weird.
know, you're left with,
J.K. Rowling, what are you doing?
and I feel like you're left with like that scene at the train station at the end of the 7th movie when you, or in the book, when you're reading it and you watch it, you're like, yeah, he's gonna be great, he's gonna be different, and you're happy for him because you're like, you've worked so hard for this and now you have it and that's amazing. And then she just like taints that and includes it inside of the play, so you're reminded of this like sweet moment, but now it doesn't mean as much because you're like, why am I reading and watching this again?
Yeah.
And then he's just awful and terrible to
Yeah.
everyone,
And
including McGonagall.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah,
They
he
got
was. Yeah.
No,
No.
keeping it.
I
love
can't even
McGonagall
like
deeply.
I can't even like name other characteristics of Harry in this play other than he doesn't like to do paperwork and like he's
Right.
disorganized and he's mean.
Yeah.
And
Which he always was. Like he was always like kind of snappy and stuff and like so like you get that
yes.
whatever. And he was never good at schoolwork. Sure.
right.
Whatever. I don't know.
But you don't see a moment that's not about him. Like
And-
he always talks about himself.
And this is what happens whenever
his
you
family.
revisit like
Yeah.
classic characters. It's like when we revisited Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, and he's like this
Crotchety.
grumpy old man. Like it's really really hard to revisit characters after they've aged.
It just
I
sucks
get
because it's
that.
coming from the same mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't understand
Yeah.
why
So-
this is happening.
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
It didn't, yeah. So just in general, reading the play, it didn't feel like it just wasn't what I expected. It wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
feel
sorry.
like if they had just whatever. If they had gone somewhere else with it besides Back to the Future, it would have been better.
I felt like it was a play that I would watch at Harry Potter World at Universal Studios because
Yeah.
of how cheesy it was and how fanny
it
was.
does,
It
yes.
That's what it
kind of
reads
does
like.
feel
Yes.
like yeah.
Where I'm
that's a
at
good
an
point.
amusement park.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like, hey, remember this? You liked this from Harry Potter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh my
ooh,
gosh,
you
good
like
Yeah.
comparison.
you-
Very good.
Thank
Oh,
you.
did you like the invisibility cloak? Well, guess what? They still have it. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Yeah.
And you remember? Oh, hey,
You remember Floor?
wasn't that funny when Ron tried to drive or whatever? Like, well, now he has his driver's license. That's
man,
fun.
that's right.
Like,
Oh my
it's
God.
like it's just
Yeah.
weird stuff like that that's in there. So whatever. Are we good?
Yeah, I don't even, yeah. And I would say for like technical stuff of like how you produce it,
You can't.
I am very underqualified to even talk about how I would do it because I have no idea.
It is disappointing that this play, I mean, they wrote this in a way that it can never be produced by anybody but Broadway.
Yeah.
Or West End.
And a rich
giant budget. I mean, the changes of scene. The scenes are tiny. They're short.
Yes.
You're on the Hogwarts Express.
There's 18
You're in Ginny and
scenes
Harry's
You're on
house.
per
They
act.
jump, yeah, like, do you jump off a moving train in a play? Okay.
Good
sure.
luck.
It's like, okay, yeah.
And oh yeah, the shortness of the scenes just made me mad because I mean, it's not a movie.
No, it's not a movie. It's not a novel. Like, there was a lot of things, a lot of character development that could have been more explored, and I would have been way more intrigued in it. And I think that just what makes me sad, because it doesn't give enough. If you are going to give us characters we love, give them the credit that they deserve in what we're reading.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's all.
And this goes into casting the play. Like, I didn't even want to. I don't want to drag my
I know.
favorite actors through the mud, put them in this play.
I do, yeah, right? Are we ready to cast the freaking
Yes,
play, though?
I think we're ready to cast a freaking play.
So-
I can't scream anymore.
So again, yeah,
Oh,
like
no.
I do think they will make this into a movie. I'm almost positive.
I probably won't see it.
I probably will. I want to see it. Maybe it'll be better when you see it on stage. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of rough that the whole plot doesn't really work for me. But
Do you think was the desired audience the fans of the books or the
Yeah.
fans of the movies? Like, am I
Oh.
supposed to picture Daniel Radcliffe in this role? Because I didn't.
I did just because that was my default Harry Potter. But
I actually didn't, because I've seen a picture of the cast of the West End, and I knew
Oh.
they cast Hermione as like a black actor, which I was like totally
oh yeah, that's right.
awesome.
Yeah, I've seen a lot
And-
of fan art where Hermione is black.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
And I'm into it. And
Because-
so I kind of thought about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's a good, because I think their ages, I mean, you're very aware that they're like older. So I think I had a hard time, like, what would Emma Watson look like when she's 40? And
Gorgeous.
That's hard. Yeah. Oh
Sure.
my gosh.
Yeah.
A queen, because she is.
Oh my gosh, I rewatched the movies like all in a row at the beginning of October. And I used to hate Emma Watson because I wanted to be her and I was convinced I could be a better Hermione than she was.
Interesting.
But going back and as an adult, I'm watching a child play Hermione and she is adorable.
yeah.
She's great.
She's
She is
so
precious.
She
And
nails
like
it.
all the way up through the last movie where she's being
That was lucky
Oh.
casting.
absolutely.
That was like
Oh my gosh.
a miracle.
Yeah, they lucked out
Yeah.
with her.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was great. Except in the fourth one.
Really
Interesting.
I
don't remember her.
don't think she's great in the
Wait.
fourth.
interesting.
Remind me,
That's-
that was
That's
It's a
Goblet
Dry
of Fire.
Wizard.
Yeah, yeah.
Goblet of Fire.
You didn't like her at the Yule Ball?
Her dress was the wrong color. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be blue.
A Harry Potter expert
Well,
coming in hot.
all right.
Supposed to
You
be
know
blue.
what? She did look flawless though in that little periwinkle, purple, whatever, magenta dress.
It was
I
too
love-
frilly for Hermione. Hermione's classier than frills. Okay.
Wow.
That's yeah, and
Hot
it does
takes,
have kind
hot
of a
takes.
complex because like she's wearing something that's not her personality, and then Ron falls in love with her. In that moment, that's kind of rough.
Right. So it wasn't that way in the books.
Wow,
Oh.
I didn't think about that.
All right, who should we start with for casting? So we're gonna not do everybody. Should we start with Ginny?
Sure.
And Drake?
Yeah.
Ginny and Draco.
Ginny's name has not come up barely at all.
She's
And
like an okay character in this.
I
but
liked
not
her
great.
more than I've ever. So
she's the editor of the sports section of the Daily Prophet.
which
Yeah.
what? Why?
Sure,
why?
whatever.
She was good at Quidditch.
She was okay.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
That was like her
She
one.
was like really good at Quidditch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was a good-
she's
a great chaser.
a chaser.
Yeah.
She played Seeker one time, beat Cho Chang.
I'm
Cho Chang was a
so
seeker.
impressed with you.
Dude, yes.
Dang. Okay, ready?
All right,
All
Ginny.
the-
Okay, so
Ginny.
I cast because I don't really like Ginny, and I'm so sorry, but I
It's
did
okay.
cast Carrie Mulligan.
Me too!
Oh my God! Really?
Yes.
That's amazing.
I have a
Oh.
picture of her with
Yeah.
red short hair, and she just is Ginny.
Oh my gosh!
Get
that's
outta here.
So
Yes.
funny.
Wow.
Okay, so here it is. Ginny Weasley, my
Whoa!
Yeah. I can
yeah.
totally see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. so
Like
Carrie-
she almost kind of looks like Molly Weasley, and I think
She
that's
really
very
does.
fitting.
Yeah.
Wow!
Oh,
Nice.
Oh my
girl.
gosh!
Yeah.
I'm so impressed with us.
She's gonna be great.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna be great,
You're
Carrie.
gonna-
I love
yeah,
you.
we're happy
Good
for
work,
you.
guys.
Well, who did
Say
you
hi to
cast?
Marcus.
I've got Jodie Whittaker, who is the current Doctor Who, and she was in Broadchurch. She's the mom in Broadchurch.
Oh my gosh, I
Sarah.
do like her a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna choose Carrie Mulligan because we
Great,
both
that's fine.
chose her.
Yeah, that's I got
When does that
voted
happen?
there.
But I love Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah, I think she's great. I think
Yeah.
she's a great actress. Catherine is shaking her head. She hates it.
No, I just don't know who she is.
Sure.
I don't watch Doctor Who. Sorry.
Yeah, no, neither.
Well, yeah, we found her on Broadchurch. As this gal.
Yeah.
She's very pretty.
Yes, she's great.
One of my things in casting this was if I had a problem with like, while I was casting this, I really tried not to go supermodel, good looking, because I never pictured Harry or Ron
Right.
or Hermione as super good looking.
Right.
Sure.
They're
So-
normal kids, and they're gonna be normal looking adults.
Yeah.
True.
No, that's
True.
true.
Okay.
I feel that.
It's just hard because like basically every actor is good looking and actress is good looking. So.
Not if you take away all their makeup.
True. Hollywood makes them prettier.
That's
All right.
Yeah.
Draco. This was hard because I don't really know, but should I?
You can go.
Say yours.
My guy is he's a Game of Thrones guy, but he's Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. He plays Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones, and I don't really feel strongly about it because I love his character in Game of Thrones, but
He looks like Draco. He's got sharp features.
he's very sharp features. Yeah, so that's my guy.
So I think I cheated a little bit. I chose Tom Felton. I loved his Draco
He
Malfoy.
is a great Draco.
He's
You definitely
incredible.
cheated, but it's okay.
It's cheating, but he'll be the appropriate age someday. And I'm looking at a recent picture of him from Tom Felton's Instagram, and he just screamed. I mean,
He's
is
perfect.
Draco
Yeah,
Malfoy.
that was
I
that
love
was great
him.
casting, and I almost cast whoever plays Lucius Malfoy.
Oh yeah,
he was
I-
great too.
He was
he
great.
was fantastic.
Whatever his name
He's
is,
gonna be-
he's a
oh,
great
yeah,
actor
yeah.
aside from Harry Potter. But.
So my husband's take on it was Ellen DeGeneres. So funny.
I love that.
That would be great, cause in what's it
In
the Harry Potter musical,
which
she played
better
by a girl.
production than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Malfoy is played by a girl. It is so funny.
So funny.
So perfect.
That would be
I
great.
chose another Tom. I chose Tom Hiddleston
Good.
Yeah,
because he's just like,
for sure.
Yes.
you love him, but he can be evil.
As
Yes.
Tom Hiddleston with bleached blonde hair,
Yeah.
what would that look
Wouldn't
like?
that be powerful?
That'd be
Oh my
crazy.
gosh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, I go with Tom Hiddleston for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Do we do the little babes?
Should we do?
Scorpius or Delphi or whatever?
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Delphi. She's a side character. She doesn't really matter. But
Yeah, we don't have to do
you
her.
could totally cut her out of the play, and I don't think it would make a difference. Honestly.
Honestly, the weirdest part about it is he's like a fourth year in school, which I don't know, what does that make him, like 14? And she's like 20 and helping him out. And then like you're kind of, they're supposed to like be
a little
in love.
crush develops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I don't know, it's just, she's like not in school, she's not a part of their scene, and then their love thing comes out of nowhere, and you're like, how did we get here? I
Yeah.
thought you were just helping him out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Be weird.
I did cast Delphi. I chose Letitia Wright.
Ooh.
I love her.
Great.
I love that.
She's from what? She's Shuri in Black Panther.
She's incredible.
Yes.
She's
You
great.
win. I
She's
chose
great.
someone stupid because I thought the Delphi character was stupid. I chose Lily Collins because I recently watched Emily in Paris, and that's
Great.
So when reading the first part, I thought Delphi was going to be a bigger role, so I
Yeah.
cast her right away in my head.
I love that.
No, that's a good.
She's
that's a good
incredible.
casting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, the character might not warrant such an incredible person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe, who knows, Act 3 and 4, Delphi comes
Yeah,
back.
who
Yeah, we
knows?
don't
I
even
mean,
know.
I haven't read
We actually haven't read it, so we don't know.
You know, because
I
it's a
didn't-
2-night event.
I didn't cast Delphi, so
Okay. Well, Catherine wins.
for sure.
Thank you.
All right. Scorpius.
Scorpius, little Scorpius. So we kind of like were like tough because like we don't know any child British actors, and this kid needs to be like about 14-ish. And so Sarah and I might have cast like British actors
Or
just as younger
kid
children.
actors that might not be kids.
Yeah.
I succeeded in casting a child.
All right. Who you got?
I did as well for one of them.
Oh, I
Continue.
didn't.
Let's do Scorpius.
So Scorpius is this amazing kid. He's funny. He's like endearingly vulnerable.
So sweet.
Oh my gosh. So
I love
I
him.
chose a little known actor maybe, but I chose Louis Ashbourne Circus. He was the main character in The Kid Who Would Be King. It's a British movie
I heard that was
about-
like not that bad.
It was I watched it on a plane.
Nice.
It was a good plane movie. And he was adorable.
Sure.
And he's Gollum's son. which kind of plays into Are You
Oh,
Voldemort's
he
son?
is so perfect.
Yeah,
He's Andy Serkis's son.
he's Andy Serkis's
Oh
son.
my
Oh,
gosh.
wow, that's crazy.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I thought he was great, and I think he would be a good
Oh,
Scorpius.
he would. Oh my gosh. Great.
I chose Noah Schnapp. You
So
almost gonna
I
choose
know I
him?
cast him as
Albus.
Albus.
Ooh,
Yeah, I was just
wow.
He's not British. I broke the
No,
rules there.
he's not.
too.
Same
Yeah.
wavelength.
Yeah.
Learn an accent, but like
Who is this kid?
he's so sweet, and
He
you would feel
is,
so bad if you made fun of him.
He's Will
Stranger Things.
in
Stranger Things. Will.
Yeah.
Got it.
He's just
Oh,
like when he gets
precious.
made fun of, you feel like awful. Yeah.
And he's like turned into this teenager who
Yeah.
can totally play up the angst. Oh, sorry, we're doing Scorpius though.
Yes,
This
Scorpius.
is Scorpius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
that makes,
who
that
did you
works.
cast as Scorpius?
That doesn't matter. It was it was Paul Bettany, but as a young child.
The blonde hair.
Yeah, that's where I got
That
it.
is
I don't know.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
But I don't think that works.
Paul
I think.
Bettany as a young child.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
I don't even know what he looked like as a kid. So,
I don't even. there's
Wait,
not even-
so
I think you win.
well, who was your Albus?
wait.
Well,
Okay,
okay.
sorry.
Wait.
Sorry, we're talking
I'm getting confused now.
Louis Ashbourne Circus or Noah Schnapp.
Yeah.
Schnapp.
Oh.
Schnapp.
I
So
like-
you had Noah Schnapp as Albus,
I
Yes.
did, but
But we're ignoring that right
yeah.
now.
and you had Noah Schnapp as Scorpius.
and we're
Scorpius.
casting Scorpius.
So we're
Don't wanna make
casting Noah Schnapp somewhere.
Yes.
maybe
I-
I haven't
That's what
heard
it
Sarah's
sounds like.
Albus yet.
I did it mostly off of angst more than anything.
Okay.
But
Tough.
I think we should choose yours for
Louis.
because he looks so like sweet, uncoordinated, charming little fella.
Yeah.
It's
you
like
know?
we were comparing Scorpius to Neville.
Yeah,
and
he
if
does
you
look like
were to
Neville.
cast Louis in the original films or something, he would be a great Neville.
Yeah.
So that kind of works.
Yeah, I totally see that. He's so cute. Oh my gosh. And he's already a British little star, so let's do
Yeah,
it.
great.
I support.
He's the proper age.
proper age.
What is that from? Oh my gosh,
I don't know.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, sure.
Moving on.
Okay. Next we'll do what? Oh, the other kid, Albus.
Yeah.
Okay, Albus.
So go.
Okay. I did a very young Benedict Cumberbatch.
A young Bendy Boo Cabbage Patch.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, he's
See
an
how that-
amazing actor.
see how that works out.
Okay, so I'm gonna Google as a child.
Okay, what did he look like? Because I kind of because he does have like sharp features. He kind of is described as like sallow at points. So I don't know. That could work.
Yes. So there's this image of him. He's probably
16 maybe.
Yeah, 16. He's very Albusy.
Yeah.
So use the time turner
To come.
to get Benedict Cumberbatch from his youth.
Oh,
He's
I would have
cute.
been in love with him,
Yeah, wow.
even though
I don't
actually
know, I
got-
think he looks kind of like the wolf kid in A Christmas Story. the bully.
Scut Farkas?
Scut Farkas. Actually,
I
I've always
love
thought
that.
Bendy Boo
Cabbage Patch. All right, what you got?
All right,
Sarah?
I chose a child River Phoenix mostly because he looks.
Who is that?
He's Joaquin Phoenix's older brother who died,
Whoa,
but
okay.
he was like super
Whoa.
talented
Wow.
child actor like back in the day. But
Okay.
like this is him or
Cute.
whatever, like model guy, cute, and
mhm.
yeah.
Interesting.
And he just would bring the angst / the heroism I was looking for in Albus. But
How do
how do we choose?
I-
I do like Noah.
I like Benedict?
I like Benedict. And you haven't given me one yet, so.
You can have Benedict.
Yay!
have Albus. We will concede because you have not won one yet. It was a close call. I would have chosen Noah, I think, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have him fight for it.
Wizarding
Is
style.
Benedict
We'll have
a
they'll-
grown man in this fight?
Yes. And he's also Doctor Strange and Sherlock at the same time. So.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, here we
Okay.
go. What else? Who else we got?
Ron.
Ron.
Okay.
I love my
My
Ron.
choice is psychotic, and I'm excited about
What
it.
do you got?
I chose it's only because of this play. It's not. This is how I don't view Ron like this, but this is how he comes across in
the
this play
play?
to me.
Yeah.
I chose Seth Rogen
Get out of here. Yes.
because he's just like a bumbling, like joking idiot.
That is hilarious because in the play there's a Polyjuice Potion moment where Albus turns into Ron. And he's like, Ron's got kind of a gut.
Yeah.
And sorry,
He
Seth
hides it
Rogen.
well.
Yeah.
But you do.
Yeah.
God love you.
For
That's so
me,
funny.
there was no other choice but Donald Gleason.
Donald
Donald
Gleason.
Gleason.
Yeah, but he's such a good
he's
actor.
So good, and I don't know if he's.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
He's fantastic.
I love
He's
him.
one of my favorites.
And he is an adult Ron. It's weird that he played Ron's brother in
Oh,
the
that's right.
movies.
He was Bill.
Yeah.
He was Bill. But does Bill die?
No.
No.
Nope.
No.
Man, criminally underused in those movies, though. Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
Bill's never really in the books, I guess, but not very much, at least.
At least they put him in the
They
movies.
put him in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great.
Martin Freeman in an interview one time is like, "Are you even a British actor if you're not in Harry Potter?" And he's not in Harry Potter. He's like, "I feel like totally left out."
And no, so did who was it? Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. They're like,
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, everybody got called. Me and Patrick Stewart, not one phone call.
Not one.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
That was so great.
Who did
Okay,
you choose?
Ron is Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
Why do you keep trying to cast Ed Sheeran? I think
I don't-
this is the second time.
Rupert Grint
No.
and Ed Sheeran look alike?
They do
Yes,
look
it
alike.
was.
That's the only reason. And and actually, Rupert
You
Grint.
did last
they
time.
I did.
Well, Ed Sheeran was
Yeah.
really good in
It's funny.
the Beatles movie.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it yesterday.
And
I
also,
mean, he's really good. He plays himself.
Yeah.
it's also funny
It's
because Rupert Grint plays Ed Sheeran in
Yes.
an Ed Sheeran music video, and it's really
Yes.
funny.
Oh,
and
that
like
is
for
funny.
a long time, you're like, wait, isn't that Rupert Grint? And then it's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So just like quietly cast Ed Sheeran and like let the audience.
yeah.
Figure
It's
it
like,
out.
wait,
Is
isn't that
that-
Ed Sheeran? No. Then he-
Uh, and so Seth Rogen versus Ed Sheeran
Versus
versus
Donald Gleason. I mean,
honestly,
Donald
a lot
Gleason.
of
I love
yeah,
him too
Donald's
much
incredible.
not to-
Yeah,
It's Donald.
we have to choose him.
It's Donald. It's
It's-
not
yes.
Donald.
It's Donald like tonal.
Donald
Gleason.
Gleason.
Yeah.
Got it.
His name's always so complicated. Okay.
Yeah.
Criminally he's a great actor. I hate what they did to him in Star Wars.
But he was really good.
Yeah.
He was.
The
He
character, but he
He
was
was,
good.
yeah.
And then About Time. Are you kidding?
Oh, thank you.
He
One of my
is
favorite
Ron
movies
in
of
About
all
Time.
He is.
Yeah,
It's true.
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
And he has red hair.
It's perfect.
Perfect. All right.
Hermione.
You need
I
someone.
hate my Hermione, but okay. I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm not a fan. I chose Felicity Jones.
I chose her too.
No way. Okay, never mind.
Trash talking. I love it.
Shoot.
Keep going.
I'm sorry, I can't stand Felicity Jones.
No, I can't.
I don't love her.
I don't love her. I was just looking at like British actresses, and I think she has like, she's like a strong.
She could
can own a
definitely
scene.
do it for
Yeah.
sure. So
That's all. Who did you choose?
I chose a rando.
nice.
You guys remember Downton Abbey?
Yeah.
Yes,
I chose Lady Sybil, aka Jessica Brown Finley.
She's good.
I
I don't.
I think she was,
She's the one who is like a nurse or whatever, right?
yes.
Okay.
And she's pretty without being drop dead gorgeous, and
She-
she
Okay.
has this great raspy voice. Anyway,
you're
I
killing it. Yeah.
I love her,
I
and
see
I love
that.
Hermione, so I had to choose.
Interesting.
She's
I
a
see
little.
that.
She's on the young side. She's only
Yeah.
31, and these guys are supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean
40s.
Felicity, whatever. Felicity's 37, so she's like the exact right age.
Yes.
But, what do we think?
I wish we could cast a poll.
I know.
A Polish
that's
person?
a good idea. Maybe on this one we could put it on the story and be
Catherine.
like, you decide.
Catherine, you can
Oh.
cast Polish people if you want. It's not like a huge deal. Right?
Cast a Polak.
You won't
alright?
succeed on Broadway.
You'll never see it reach Broadway if you cast a pole. Okay.
We're totally.
Who do we
fine.
got? Who do we got?
Um,
I guess should we go with Felicity or
You
do
don't
want-
have to. I mean,
I don't know. No, Jessica Brown Finley. But we both cast Felicity Jones.
Yeah,
me
is
and
it-
Sarah.
is
So
that
is that
the-
automatic? Is that an
I think
automatic
that's
cast?
kind of
then?
what happened with.
That is
With Carrie Mulligan.
That's
Carrie
right.
Mulligan.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
was perfect,
Wow,
though.
we're like really in sync today.
Yeah.
This is
I
fun.
don't know if that was in sync more of a British actress.
Yeah, true.
That we
Out
know.
of
I mean, I was-
necessity.
Yeah, I thought of Keira Knightley, and I thought of
Yeah.
like the quintessential
Oof.
British.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I would not cast Keira
No.
Knightley as Hermione.
No, she'd be
No,
like, oh,
no.
I'm gonna walk through the field.
Yeah.
In the
We're gonna have-
sunset.
And then Orlando Bloom is
Oh,
Harry
I'm
Potter.
prettier.
Prettier.
Who's prettier?
Not me.
Queen of the
Mr.
Pirates.
Darcy. Yeah, so we're not going to cast Keira Knightley. I think we should put this on the Instagram stories and let people decide.
Okay.
And release the
That'd
results.
be fun.
Okay.
Love.
All right.
All right. Harry.
Harry Potter. Who takes Daniel Radcliffe's place?
Which honestly,
Daniel Radcliffe is not a bad actor, but you know.
not great.
average size
I-
shoes to fill.
Yeah.
I
literally.
would like to see him return to the role in the movie and see what he does with it. But anyway,
In the movie?
I know
Yeah.
exactly what he would do with it.
Okay.
He's pretty like he doesn't leave you guessing, you know?
remember when we kind of met him?
Remember when
Cat me and
we
Catherine?
kind of met him and
Yeah.
he hates me.
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe
we saw-
legitimately hates me.
We saw him on stage in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying.
He was hilarious.
It was great. Great
amazing.
show.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah.
And it was a musical, and it was like, Daniel Radcliffe can sing? Weird.
He
It was
can.
a really weird, like, why is he in this?
It was
But,
surreal.
yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
So we waited outside the stage door and with a lot of other fans,
Oh, yeah.
and we were really close to like the line. And he comes out in his baseball cap, and I give the girl in front of me like a shove.
Yeah, you do.
I'm trying to
You got
get his
carried away.
autograph. I got carried away, swept up in the moment. Daniel Radcliffe looks me in the eye, a withering stare, like you are the person that I can't stand
Oh no.
being around. So
Oh.
Daniel Radcliffe has seen me, and he hates me.
And he didn't sign your thing, did he?
Oh no.
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 No. I'm so sorry.
Sad.
It's okay. I deserve it.
I will say I would have like Daniel's my least favorite of the company of Harry Potter.
Oh, really?
Right.
I have no problem with him as Harry Potter, honestly.
I
He-
feel like that's the wrong stance.
Okay, great. He's just short, and Harry's supposed to be very tall and lanky. But anyway, here we go.
Oh,
They couldn't control
that is
yeah, they couldn't control that. Yeah.
Dude, no, you're wrong. Ron is tall and lanky.
They're both
Harry
tall
is
and lanky.
No, Harry is not tall. He's on the skinny side. He grew up in a closet. He's
Also,
he's always been small for his
oh
age.
really?
Yeah, and like Dudley's
I
clothes.
thought they
The
like.
runt of the litter.
I thought they but he like gets way taller as as it goes
There
on.
is no place where it says, and now Harry's tall. Ron is tall. Harry is at
Got
the
it.
most average.
Okay,
Sorry.
never mind. I'm
Sorry.
wrong.
Harry
Sorry.
Potter expert.
Here we go. Who's replacing Daniel Radcliffe? I've got Andrew Scott.
Oh
From-
my gosh, you know
He
I love
is,
him.
yeah.
Oh.
He is. So he plays Moriarty in the Sherlock
I would
series.
watch the heck out of that.
He plays. I don't know. He's just been in a bunch of stuff lately.
He's perfect. No, he was the hot priest in
Hot priest.
oh my gosh,
Fleabag.
Fleabag.
great actor.
He's incredible.
Very huge range.
He's so talented.
Yeah.
He's so funny. He's so charming. He can be evil. He can be kind.
and he's
I
of average
love
height.
him.
Catherine, he's 5'8".
Yeah. Wow.
That is the
Dang
key.
it, Will. What is yours?
Oh,
bad.
well, I really like that choice.
Yeah, I love that choice.
So my choice is random. Julian Ovenden.
Wow.
Who is that guy?
Such a British name.
Yes, he played. Crap, what was his name? Downton Abbey. One of Mary's suitors, Charles Blake. He played Charles Blake in Downton Abbey, and
Wow.
I always loved him.
Oh, he's hot.
He's hot.
He is.
One of Mary's suitors.
Yeah, she.
Which one? Which after her husband dies?
After
How
Matthew
much
dies.
of Downton Abbey have you watched?
After
So-
Matthew died, I didn't watch it.
Charles Blake, I believe, should have been Mary's
Oh,
love,
okay.
but he kind of like took himself out of the running.
Oh,
Mary wasn't
okay,
into it.
yeah. So I watched 4 seasons, so
Okay.
I remember him.
He looks good in glasses. And Downton Abbey didn't explore much of a range for him, but I believe he could do it.
Sure,
It's okay. He's
Great.
kind of a random choice.
No.
Who was
I
yours?
respect it.
I chose David Tennant because I love him.
Mm-hmm.
Great. He's a
I
great
think
guy.
he's
also
very
had
talented.
a minor role in a previous Harry Potter
Yes,
film.
with the tongue.
Yeah.
What was
Barty
his-
Crouch Jr.
Yes, that's what I just remember him being like.
So he seems old. How old?
He's 50.
Okay.
So is Andrew Scott, though.
Yeah,
I think.
but Andrew's just.
Okay.
Andrew Scott looks a little
I
younger.
think you should win. Like,
Yeah.
Yes!
I love Andrew Scott. I
That's
do
all
love
good, yeah.
David Tennant, but I think Andrew Scott. I would.
He would.
like,
he would
be more
own it.
charming
He
with
would own
it.
it for
Yeah.
sure.
Wow.
Definitely.
Dang.
All
Okay,
right.
we have our cast.
That's the freaking play there, guys.
That is the freaking play. Well, Catherine, what are you? We're gonna transgress into our next segment. What are you watching? What
Yeah,
are you
what you
reading?
watching?
What are
What
you
you read-
listening to?
Okay. Wes, my husband, and I have gotten into Monk recently because
Nice.
Tony
Nice.
Shalhoub,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he is we love him.
He's phenomenal.
He is hilarious and so good. So we're watching Monk and we love it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I have only seen a few episodes because it was like early 2000s. Correct?
Yeah.
So, but I find it really charming when I watch
show.
it. Yeah.
Good show.
It's very good.
I support.
Yep.
Great.
Willie.
Nothing really.
But too busy.
Too busy. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
I
been
just
kind of a
like.
crazy
Have
time.
I been watching? I guess we watched like Criminal.
Yes, it's this British show.
on Netflix.
That's good. You fell asleep the other night.
Yeah,
but
I don't love
It's
it.
really okay. I really like it. Because British actors, as we scream, are so talented, and they can make storytelling so compelling, even if it's like one character giving a monologue for like an hour about what's happened, what crime they're trying to figure out. You know, it's like it all takes place in one room in this TV show, in like the interrogation room, and the acting is just like incredible.
Yeah.
And it's like a mystery kind of like you don't know the true crime. They figure it out by the end of each episode, but like it's just within that talk they figure it out.
Yeah. We also watched the movie Us, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it was spooky.
A little spooky, huh?
Little spooky season. I'm currently reading Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, which is a British novel.
Is that completely fine?
No, she's not completely fine.
It is the book though.
Oh, yeah. I really like the book. I mean, it took a little bit to get into because she's one of those characters. She's like, you know, where she's like, I don't need anyone. I just need myself, and I have my routine. And she almost seemed like she's like had a lot of social issues, and I was like, where is this going? Like, I don't know if I'm into this. And then it was a little slower to develop, but you realize she has like a rough relationship with her mother because something took place in her childhood, and she doesn't even know like what it was. So you're kind of slowly figuring that out with her. And then this like guy Raymond is like really kind to her and kind of teaches her how to be like a part of society because of like her childhood was like really, really rough. So that's why she's kind of like weird type A type person. So it's really good. I haven't finished it yet, but I read like over 100 pages at work the other day because it was really boring at work, and it actually helped me get through like an 8-hour day. So I'm forever grateful.
Love those books.
Yeah.
Love those.
Yeah. So I highly recommend. It takes a little bit to get into, but once you're there, you're like, okay, let's see.
Great.
Let's go on this journey together.
So,
yeah.
do we get into? Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, you're fine.
So, do we get into our 3 questions?
Let's get into our 3 questions.
All right, Catherine. What's our first question? I don't remember. Is it like, oh, what's your crush, Catherine?
I've been thinking. I listen to the podcast.
She's a fan.
I'm an avid fan. So my crush is. I'm listening. So I listen to a radio station in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah.
And every now and then, it's a very serious station. It's EWTN. Like, this is serious radio
stuff. Yeah.
But every now and then, there's a commercial for a doctor's practice, and
Wow.
the
Whoa.
This
is getting specific. I love it.
The doctor's name is Dr. Bimbo Petrie. That is my crush.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. I've heard that.
What?
Yeah, I've heard of that doctor because of radio commercials in Omaha.
I've been laughing about it for like a month.
Dr. Bimbo Petrie. I couldn't even go to a doctor like that. I would just
know,
be like, do you know what
Can
you're
I
doing?
see your license?
Yeah.
Are you a real person or are you a sock puppet?
You should change your name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Wow.
Well,
Great.
who's your crush? Follow that up.
I don't have one. Do you have one?
Well,
Sorry, I'll
just-
think of one.
No, you're fine. I was just thinking how good acting is my crush and how it's hard to find and watch. But there was this one moment in Criminal where, and I was telling Will about this and I was obsessing, so I don't even know if it'll come across how much it meant to me. But these 2 characters were sitting on the stairs, and it was this simple moment. They're kind of into each other, but it's only hinted at throughout like the episodes. It's not like highlighted at all. And the guy says, you know, Alan bought that jacket to impress you. And she just like looks at him, and then they just have this like stare. And then you think like maybe something happened, and obviously someone breaks it up. But British people just do it better, where it was so subtle, and I was so suspended in that moment. And like Will was asleep, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't watched something that was like so simple and perfect like on TV in a while like that. Like you see that in like plays and stuff, but when like that kind of acting translates, it just melts my heart, and I love it. So that's my crush.
Great.
That is the most specific crush.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
Bimbo
made my
Petrie,
week.
but then.
Bimbo Petrie, yeah.
Yeah, Bimbo Petrie. Yeah, we're very into specific crushes this week.
Uh-huh.
William.
My crush is, I don't know. Oh, how about, okay, my crush is a new jacket that I have. And I really like my new jacket. It's kind of a light brown, and it's nice. It's
What kind of weather
it's
is
kind of a
appropriate
it's
for
kind of
She
a
looks
corduroy.
so good. We bought it for our Halloween costume.
Yeah.
What's your Halloween costume?
It's
A surprise. Damn it.
we'll give you pictures.
Well,
Maybe it's better if we just don't describe it.
I think it's better if we don't, because really it's indescribable.
I have to change my crush. My crush is my baby girl's
Yeah.
Halloween costume.
What's Eliza?
Oh my gosh.
She's gonna be a mad scientist.
Yes.
Yes!
She has glasses. She's precious 11-month-old with glasses, and she's gonna be a mad scientist because her hair is crazy. She has so much hair.
Oh
Yeah,
my
she
gosh.
does.
So we're gonna stick it up, and we bought a lab coat.
Oh.
and
I
Stop.
can't. She is our sweet little goddaughter, and we are absolutely in love.
Yeah.
Eliza, her glasses are purple, and they like fit on her face so wonderfully, and I love her.
She's so cute.
Love her.
I love
Great.
her. That's a fantastic crush.
Yep.
Thank you.
Both crushes were phenomenal. Catherine, do you feel hot today?
Okay, I'm gonna go with no. I don't.
I respect that.
Okay.
Tell us
Hey.
more.
I don't know. We've been doing Whole30. And
Oh.
yeah, we're in the middle of it. So, but we went on this vacation, like to Kansas
Yeah.
City.
Yeah.
Woo! And we broke the diet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's hard.
Fudge
It's tough.
brownie from Jack Stacks. And I
Ooh,
don't
Jack
feel
Stacks is
hot.
real good.
Jack Stacks, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Don't feel hot
Cool.
the next day.
So
Hey, don't
sorry.
even worry
Oh,
about
it's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
It's
No,
cool. I'll be back. I'll be back.
It'll be back.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
there-
feel
guys,
hot. We'll feel hot once again.
We'll
feel
feel
Yeah.
hot.
It's okay. Will, do you feel hot today?
I feel okay, kind of like I feel lukewarm, I guess. I just need to shave and
You
then
do.
I'll feel hotter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. How do you feel, Sarah? Do you feel hot?
I do not. I had yesterday was like a really long day. You know, it's just like tech week of a show. It gets like really exhausting, and so it's just like coming off of that. So it's like, you know, you just feel drained. But then also face masks. Everyone wear a face mask. I totally support it. I'm just saying it's causing my skin to like break out and dries it out, and it's just I am blessed with pretty good skin that does not break out as often,
Yes.
and so it's just like a new territory for me, and I hate it. That's
Sure.
all.
You know, no one looks hot in a face mask.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
I don't care who you are. You don't. But when
Your
it does
jaw,
to you after.
I do notice that it makes people's jawbones look stronger than they are, and then they take it off, and you were like, oh, you actually have a very round face. But the mask hides it. Because I'm so used to, because like all my students,
Yes.
I don't really know what they look like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll sometimes take it
Yeah.
off, and I'm like, oh, your face is a lot rounder than I pictured it.
Yeah.
Amy
weird. It's weird.
Coney Barrett looked like Bane from The Dark
She
Knight.
did actually, yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what?
She's
The confirmation hearings for the Supreme
for
Court.
the
Oh, got it. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
she
yes.
Like
did. Yeah,
a
she looked kind of
black
crazy.
face mask and just
Yeah.
like deadpan. She looked like Bane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spooky.
Catherine,
Will,
are you mad at me?
I miss you.
Aw, I miss you too.
Will and
That
I
was
are
really
like
cute.
a year and a half apart. A year and a half apart.
Yeah.
We're and like the best. Our siblings, like the four of us, we're just like four best friends.
Yeah.
And Omaha and Kansas City are very close. Thank God.
Yeah, but we just haven't been able to get up there for a while.
It's been
so
a
we're
busy
glad,
fall. Don't
we're glad.
worry.
We're glad that you came down this weekend.
Oh, super glad. I was
know.
looking forward to it. Don't know what is next to look forward to.
Guess Thanksgiving.
Andrew's wedding.
And Andrew's wedding.
Yep.
Love.
Sure.
That was sweet.
I'm not mad at Sarah. We
no.
vibed hard on Carrie Mulligan.
We did.
Wes is here.
Here, I'm gonna go.
And yep.
I am not mad at you, Catherine. Will, I'm not mad at you. I have gotten over your terrible planning skills.
Cool.
I love you.
Cool. I love you too. Yeah, Sarah, I'm not mad at you. Catherine, I miss you too.
We miss each other. It's not a mad feeling.
No.
You know who we also love?
We also love
Catherine's husband, Wes.
Wes.
We
He's
are
here.
obsessed. And
Say
he
hi,
just
Wes.
made an
Hi
appearance.
everyone.
Ooh,
I am here with a
you've got
printer.
dude, do that again.
Hi everyone.
You've got a nice radio voice. Wow.
Oh, no.
Thoughts for your thoughts.
It's a part of it.
Wes, you know, we thought of you the other day. Why? Because every time we're furniture shopping or come across like a bed or something,
Oh,
we
yeah.
always think of have a duvet, which was
Oh.
Take a duvet.
Take a duvet. One time
That
Wes
requires
had
a
a
lot
dream.
of context.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wes, please describe your dream real quick, and this is what we will finish on because it is a fantastic story.
Yikes. So I had a dream that I don't even remember the dream
I know
that
it.
well. Okay, Catherine will tell about my dream.
Wes had a dream that he walked into my mother's house, and my mother was getting ready for the Queen of England to make a visit, and so everything had to be perfect. And something about like having good manners in front of the Queen, and Mom was demonstrating for us how to have good manners in front of the Queen. So she gestures grandly and says, "Take a duvet," and like flops on the couch, props her face on her elbows. Take a duvet. And that is what my husband dreams of.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. I don't even think I knew what a duvet was before you told us because I was so
Well, that doesn't
stupid
make
So
sense. A
weird.
duvet is a bedspread.
I
It
know.
makes
Right.
no sense
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
It was powerful. Anyway, so
And with that,
Wes is fantastic. Catherine, you are fantastic as well. Thank you so much.
HP for life.
HP for life. Die hard fans. And we scream because we care.
Will we do part 2?
I think we should.
yeah,
think we
we've
should.
got to read it, and we'll.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
and we'll
for
have
sure.
you back because that's a perfect cliffhanger type thing. And we
Yeah,
can scream
will
some more.
Scorpius whatever.
Save the day.
from Voldemort returning? God, that sounds like a terrible VHS
Sounds terrible.
movie.
Oh my God.
So, we love you guys.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
We love you and good night.